you should have a valid source of reference and citation, okay, in order for certain statements that is claimed by you being proposed or being presented. All right, it cannot be hearsay, it cannot be from the gossips, it cannot be like a self-claim. All right, so everything needs to be cited. Okay, so let's look now. Okay. Okay, now when we talk about this research project, okay, so of course, in order for you to come up with a proposal, okay, and in order for you to also come up with the report, okay, there should be things that you want to report on lah, all right, so that is where you need to do the research, all right, so two major parts that we will be doing, okay, in throughout this course, okay, the 750 or 798 and as well as the project later on, okay. So first things first, you need to have the research, okay, in order for you to report, okay, and after that, it has to have a write-up, okay, a kind of report of your research. So it has to be together, all right, to exclude when any one of it is impossible, okay, not possible. Now, in order for you to writing up, okay, the reporting research is said to be most difficult, okay, which I agree with it, all right. Some people, they know this is the things that they are producing, okay, this happen even during the PhD level, okay. We have lecturers who I have the experience of being the panel of our lecturer doing their PhD, and then when he did the presentation, and then he cannot what do you call that, kejap. Hello. ah Dalam beg merah. Beg merah. Alamak. Mana ni? Tak ada. Dia dalam beg kecil bunga-bunga. Beg tu petak. Try tak ada eh? Okay. Beg kecil je. Sorry sebab tadi saya cakap saya punya Allah Akbar. Saya ni tadi bersiaran daripada fakulti, lepas tu saya dah pergi fakulti, saya tengok survey saya tertinggal, so saya patah balik rumah, tapi lepas tu saya dah patah balik rumah. Allah Akbar, sekejap. Hello? Okay, thank you. Okay, lepas tu saya punya kabel pula tertinggal kat fakulti, so tu husband saya tengah pergi ambilkan. Sorry sangat-sangat. Perempuan ni kan dia banyak bag kan. Tu lah dia masalahnya. Okay. Kat mana tadi? Okay. So bila dia present, alright, he has the thing. Okay, but when I read the report, okay, normally the examiners will have the report earlier. Okay, so that is where the defense, the viva took place, because the defense or the viva is actually where the researcher able, okay, to share the ideas in more confident way. Alright, tapi selalu orang takut dengan presentation, but it's actually to help you to back up, okay, to defend kalau orang claim macam ni. Sebab bila baca, sebab dekat Australia, dia orang punya PhD memang totally on the report, okay. Macam Norway, dia punya style, bila kita hantar tu and then we'll call out for the viva, that means masa tu kita punya viva, kita punya thesis dah printed. Maksudnya dah tak ada correction, sebab sebelum kita viva tu kita dah buat correction siap-siap. Tapi kat Malaysia lain. Malaysia you viva and then you akan ada minor ataupun major kan. So kalau major tu dalam masa 1 tahun you kena siapkan. Kalau minor sebulan ke 3 bulan macam tu. Okay, so that makes the difference between kat mana you nak buat lah benda tu. Macam kalau kat Norway, it's a public. Okay, maksudnya masa you buat viva tu, semua orang boleh datang. Okay, daripada kos lain ke, you punya saudara mara ke, semua nak tengok, nak support you ke, semua. Memang it's in a open hall. Tapi kalau kat Malaysia, cuma ada examiner, the panels kan dengan minute taker dan juga supervisor pun diam macam masa tu. So ikutlah dia, there are pro and cons lah. Ada orang kata macam lagi seram kalau ramai orang tengok kan, orang boleh tanya soalan ke apa. Ikutlah rezeki masing-masing. Tapi Malaysia dia tertutup. Okay. So again as I mentioned, bila you tulis, okay, masa examiner baca you punya report, okay, sometimes maksud tu tak sampai. Okay, you have the idea, you have your result, okay, tapi benda tu you tak present dalam report you. Okay, jadi masa presentation tu lah, then only you can present your idea. So the most difficult part, agree, that is actually in the writing part. Okay, you have the things tapi oh ini sebenarnya sama juga case last time saya ajar yang proposal kan, bukan last time je lah, actually every sem pun bila saya teach on the proposal part, I know they have the idea, lepas tu even dekat FYP pun ataupun dekat project kan, they have these findings tapi dia not able, okay, to report on the thing. Okay, so this is where we have to learn lah on how to come up with a very good writing, okay, academic writing. Okay, so general consideration, okay, masa you baca, masa you are writing, okay, satu jangan shock sendirilah. And I think I have mentioned that you have to use avoid from using kata ganti nama pertama lah. I, okay, we, okay, atau kadang-kadang ada yang suka buat the researcher and the researcher, my supervisor and I macam tu. No, it's not a karangan. Okay, so make it guna kata ganti nama ketiga yang mana it's a statement. Alright, so it's a scientific writing. Alright, so masa you tulis tu, you have to consider who is your audience. Alright, of course it's from academic line lah. Okay, the one who might be doing the same research as you. And then the story. Okay, apa story yang you nak ceritakan ni? Okay, and I think there is no problem untuk you all come out sebab kita dah ada guideline tu. So just follow the guideline. Kalau macam saya cakap, in chapter 1,
Hello.
Internet out, is it?
Ya ke? Hello.
Tak risau lah kalau takut saya punya. Doktor punya.
Betul dia.
Oh, bateri dia habis.
Oh, bateri habis. Ingatkan internet issue.
Lah,
Lama.
dengan
Habis lama pun tak apa.
Baik, lain macam.
Tiba-tiba. Kalau blackout lain lah cerita.
Masa anak dia simpan tu, dia punya charger tu.
Ah, korang nak tanya. Korang kat kampus ke kat rumah? Just ask.
Kat rumah, kat tempat sendiri.
Okay, nak balik kampus lah.
Macam mana? Apa soalan dia?
Korang dia plan ke nak balik kampus kalau dipanggil?
Saya tak ada plan.
tak.
Rumah je.
Saya tak ada plan. I would rather using the ODL lah, via ODL.
Yeah. Tapi kalau
Yalah,
next
senang.
year, that's the big
Boleh.
question. Are we ready to return? Itu the main question lah. Soalan besar.
Is subject. I've been told that degree student saja yang akan panggil face to face.
Tahu degree memang dah sebab dia orang ada FYP lagi nak kena tu.
Except for our courses, kita ada lab kan. Lab tu memang kena pergilah.
Cuma lab tu. Wait. Doktor dah back online.
Hello doktor. Hello.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Welcome back, Doktor.
Salam.
Thank you for waiting. Masya Allah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Unexpected things can happen.
Sekarang ni lepas tu kan, dah dapat bag ni, dah jumpa kabel, mouse dengan tapi tak apa. Tak apa, I'm not going to use the mouse. Husband saya dah marah. Allah Aman. Next, jangan jadi perempuan macam ni. Perempuan yang banyak handbag. Banyak gila bag. Lepas tu tak tahu kat mana letak. Itulah. Okay. Kat mana kita tadi?
Yang general apa tu? General consideration tu.
Right. So, sekejap, Cop. Nampak tak slide?
Tak ada because
Oh, tak ada.
Belum nampak lagi.
Tak ada.
slide dia.
Tak on.
Saya kena share lagi sekali kot. Tapi saya ni dia record kan ni? Habislah masa record nanti lamanya korang menunggu. Ada mengumpat tak? Kalau mengumpat pun dia keluar juga tu.
Tak ada mengumpat lagi.
Tak sempat mengumpat. Tak ada, dia punya ni tak ada. Dia kena ada dia. Tak apa.
Dah sementara tu doktor nak tanya,
Ha.
untuk master student macam kami ni ada plan ni untuk buat face to face ataupun
Saya tak adalah book sebab nak buat tu kena ada classroom.
I see.
Lepas tu selalunya diorang ni macam macam lab ke kan. So macam technician tu diorang malas nak datang lah sebab tak ada overtime kan. Tapi kalau you all rasa macam nak buat consultation dekat bilik lah, boleh tak bilik saya?
Tak,
Kita buat macam minggu ni.
Tak meaning that jangan nak tanya kalau universiti ada plan lah untuk master dengan PhD student. Untuk face to face. Kalau degree tu kita tak nafikan lah, dia orang dah start masuk kan.
Tapi kita hybrid.
Okay.
Dan kita terpulang pada student.
Okay.
So kalau you all
Better lah actually.
Yelah. Better, betul. Macam kerja buruh macam kami ni bergerak ke sana ke sini.
so you don't
In case kalau
Betul,
macam
betul.
Viva apa semua tu nanti kan doktor kan memang kena face to face lah kan?
tak. I think kita macam ni juga.
Oh, that's even better lah.
Itulah macam saya di buruh binaan kan. So berjalan saya.
Dia buruh binaan, saya cleaner dekat ni.
Itulah masing-masing lah lah jadi
You are the cleaner. Jaringan.
So kita prefer ODL lah.
Kita ODL tapi I'm open if any one of you wants to have a session face to face, boleh je, kita boleh pergi office kat faculty. Okay? Alright.
Sure. Thank you.
Saya bukan apa sebab you all kan ada macam kelas lain kan. Kan you all kan straight kan macam 8, 11 ni kan. So tak
betul.
macam ada yang face to face, ada yang ni nanti kan macam mengganggu you all punya ni lah. Tapi okey je kalau you all rasa macam nak pergi faculty bagi tahu. Okay?
Okay.
Nampak tak?
Okay, baik.
Nampak tak yang saya share ni?
Nampak.
Slide.
Nampak slide.
Nampak.
So this is the general consideration, the audience and then the story. Okay, make sure keep it simple, okay, straight and simple. Dia bukan cerita yang melewe-lewe lah, okay. Macam saya cakap, whatever information ataupun justification that you made needs to be supported by a citation tu kan. Jadi even though the background ke, the problem statement ke, it's not something yang alhamdulillah berabuk bersihkan bilik dia yang direka-reka. Jadi your story is not a kind of storytelling. Cumanya there should be a consistencies. Maksud consistencies ya Allah putih-putih ni. Maksud consistencies tu daripada satu macam kalau kat atas tu you cakap you nak solve the problem of apa tadi yang security tadi yang 798 punya tadi siapa? Siapa tadi nak buat apa tadi? Ingat tak? Sekejap saya nak tengok ni. Yang nak buat pasal intrusion detection. So katalah dekat atas tu you nak buat pasal intrusion detection cerita dia. Tapi bila dekat bawah tu you cerita pasal malware pula ke kan. So if you want to from general and then you want to focus and then that is okay. Okay, so you have to you can mention for example cyber security ataupun cyber attacks in general, lepas tu baru you zoom kepada malware attacks ke, that is okay. Tapi kalau tiba-tiba you cerita pasal threats yang lain kan, tapi tiba-tiba dekat bawah you nak solve problem lain, so it will not be consistencies. Okay, so in from one to another tu dia kena ada dia punya in sequence dia lah. And the most important part also is the formatting. So sebagai panel, okay, we want to look at the standardization. So kalau kata dekat chapter 1 tu cuma ada background, problem statement, objective research questions, scope, significance, leave it just like that. Okay, jangan pula nak menambah-nambah benda lain. Okay, and then same goes for the formatting of your font as well as your paragraphs, and then the indentation. Okay, sebab kita ni sebagai penilai saya selalu memang kalau saya nak jadi panel, tak kisahlah panel sebagai juri ke ataupun paper ke ataupun report proposal ataupun thesis students ke, I have to make sure that I am in a good mood. Sama jugalah kalau assignment korang, sebab kalau mood saya tak okay, please nanti dia akan affect you punya pemarkahan lah. Jadi bila baca tu nampak cantik je teratur tu, itu pun dah satu good point lah. So these three things are the things that you have to consider on lah. Okay, alright. Audience refer to the people, reports will differ considerably depending on types of audience. Okay, so of course as for you all, the audience should be higher level lah. Okay, researchers, okay, yang nak buat research yang sama dengan you. Definitely it's not going to be teenagers ataupun budak-budak sekolah nak cari maklumat ke, tak. Maklumat secara general perhaps maybe, tapi not in terms of mungkin dia tengok result you je. Okay, macam contohnya kalau you kata you buat kajian tentang penggunaan internet among the youth. Okay, so dia berminat untuk tahu. Alright, so untuk sokong dia punya perbahasan ke dan sebagainya. So that is okay. Tetapi it's not going to be satu reference yang kuat untuk dia baca. So that is not considered as your direct audience lah. Okay. And then different types audience requirement, contohnya dari segi technical detailnya. So untuk you all, that's why it is very important to make sure yang you include technical details, okay, sebab ini academic writing, and same goes for the summary of the results and your research in the viva. Okay, it has to be examined, okay, and that is done by the panels lah that we appointed. Okay, and then in terms of story, macam saya sebutkan tadi, the hardest part of telling the story in a research is finding the story in the first place. Tu yang nak buat apa nak cerita pasal apa sebenarnya kan. So a good storyline makes a report interesting and easy to understand. So macam mana nak write a good storyline tu, forget about technical details. Tadi dia kata masukkan technical details, yang ni forget about technical details. So maksudnya you meletakkan di tempatnya. So contohnya, okay, when we talk about technical details ni is like why you want to do it. And then kita tahu dekat why tu ada berlaku dekat kita punya literature, whereby kita make some comparison. Okay, we find the gap of our research. Okay, and how part is at the chapter 3. Okay, the methodology. So that part should include the technical details. Okay, tetapi dari segi penceritaan, the storyline tu make it as easier for the audience to read and understand it. Okay, and if it is possible, okay, sebab tu saya selalu gunakan perkataan KISS tu tadi, keep it straight and simple, short and simple ataupun straight and simple tu, sebabnya ada student yang suka sangat meleweh kan, dia ayat dia panjang-panjang macam tu kan, sebab dia rasa macam itulah is a good word. Sebenarnya tak, you kena pendek-pendekkan ayat tu. Katalah satu ayat yang panjang, you boleh pecahkan sampai 3. Saya pernah ayat saya memang melirik-lirik. Okay, kita suka kan, kita rasa macam seronok pula buat macam nampak macam genius dia buat ayat panjang-panjang kan. Tetapi rupanya when you do it that way, okay, my supervisor kan, saya pernah cerita kot yang last week kan, when I submitted my first paper, it has been rejected, okay, gimari sampai daripada 24 pages tu jadi 6 pages. I think it's almost like 6 times jugalah it's been rejected by my supervisor. So dia titik-titik kan, okay, dia pecah-pecahkan my sentence tu daripada panjang tu jadi 3, and what he did was dia gunakan kata penghubung. Contohnya itulah yang saya cakap, however, therefore, thus, hence, moreover, okay, ayat-ayat tu. Okay, so you kena biasa gunakan perkataan-perkataan tu untuk menghubungkan. Okay, so satu ayat tu adalah untuk menyatakan penyata, it's a penyata saja. And then why, and then the how tu, then that is will be followed by the kata penghubung tu tadi. Okay, and then look at the big picture and look at your research from the audience punya perspektif. Okay, so bila you present, contoh bila you nak cakap pasal blockchain, okay, I know that perhaps okay, maybe dengan examiners dengan panels dia kata dah tak cerita pasal blockchain ni, I dah tahu dah. Okay, but it's okay for you to include it in your report. Okay, tapi janganlah nak cerita panjang berjela pasal history apa bagai-bagai dekat dalam you punya literature tu. Tetapi fair enough to know that what is blockchain, okay, how is it working, alright, and what is it used for, contoh lah. Okay, and then how is it relate to your project. Okay, so if you have all those things, it means that you have already well explained about the technology. Alright, so dia tak payahlah nak cerita history like contohnya macam Bluetooth dinamakan gigi biru lah kerana apalah bla 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 bla. No need to do that. Okay, because this is academic writing. Alright, so formatting consideration, yang ni you kena follow UiTM punya IGS. I think I've already also share. Ada kan dekat dalam Webex? Ada tak? Check tak?
Tak check lagi, belum lagi.
You all okay ke dengan saya punya Webex? Ke you all nak Google Classroom ke? Because we are still in week 2, so kalau you all rasa macam susah je nak check dekat Webex, and then you prefer to have even our meeting pun dalam Google Meet instead of Webex, just say so. Saya just nak mempelbagaikan lah, to vary my platform, okay, but if the students rasa macam easier with Google, then we proceed with Google Meet dengan Google Classroom lah, up to you. Macam mana?
Frankly speaking, saya prefer Google Meet.
Okay.
sebab dia boleh link dengan saya punya email semua.
Setuju.
Saya pun
Setuju. Sebab dia plus lagi ringan lah.
Betul,
Yeah,
lagi
I
dengan.
think dari segi ringan tu betul lah. Okay, so in that case next week kita proceed balik dekat dalam tu lah, GC dan Gmeet. Okay.
Okay, copy.
Okay, doktor.
Cuma link bagi balik ambil doktor.
Nanti saya buat memang saya schedule terus lah every week.
Okay, thank you doktor.
Thank you, doktor.
Okay. Alright. Next, you need to there were cases where thesis was rejected because of the page margins. Okay, contoh kadang-kadang kita tulis kan, kita ada subtopik kan, kita punya anak tu ada 1.1.1, 1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1. Tak ada. Okay, we don't need until that much. Okay, kita sampai 3 anak je. Okay, 1.1.1. 1.1.1. 3 je. Alright. And then ada pula bila setiap kali dia beranak tu, dia indent. So bila dia indent, bila kita buka je page tu, dia jadi separuh A4 tu kan, dia separuh. Jadi tak cantik lah. Alright, so ikut formatting yang kita letak, kita bagi dekat buku guideline tu. Every time kita ni pun we don't need to indent actually. Alright, so please make sure. Ada setengah lecturer they are very strict, okay. Salah je formatting, tolak 5 markah contohnya. Okay, I'm not surprised. Perhaps maybe we should impose that one also lah kalau kita nampak kesalahan tu berulang. Alright. Okay, so dissertation format, dalam 10,000 hingga 30,000 patah perkataan. Okay, saya rasa saya tak sure saya dah mention ke belum, macam reference kan. We have two types of reference. Okay, one is what you call as reference and then bibliography. Siapa tahu apa beza reference dengan bibliography? Saya dah pernah cakap tak?
Pernah last week.
Apa dia? Beza dia?
Bibliografi tu macam kalau kita ada baca tapi kita tak ingat,
Tak refer.
tak refer, lepas tu kita letak je dia dekat
Dia adalah bibliografi lah. Dalam
dia bawa bibliografi instead of reference. Reference
Yes.
kita boleh cite kan, kena cite.
the one that we use, we referred by atau we cite, dia letak dalam references. Okay, tapi kita baca untuk pembacaan kita je, that would be bibliography. So mostly thesis nowadays kita memang letak references lah. So I would say untuk masters you all ni kalau boleh lah up to 50. Okay, 50 ataupun we can say 30 to 50, tapi janganlah 10, 15, macam sikit sangat je. Okay, nampak sangat macam okay, so saya tak berapa ada lecturer dia suka macam okay, chapter 1 20 page, chapter 2 30 pages, alright, and then chapter 3 30 pages, so all together there will be 50 pages. Okay, I will not put restriction on that sebabnya it's actually anyway it's a guideline. Okay, sebab tu dia dinamakan graduate studies, guideline punya thesis. Sebabnya kalau kita letak macam tu, you all macam kalau katalah you all dah tak ada idea kan, tapi Dr. Syah kata 20 page lah, so kena juga tulis 20 page. Dah lah merapu-rapu lah pula yang you masukkan in order to make it 20 pages. Alright, so it's not good. Okay, same goes bila you dah exceed katalah 21 page. You punya idea dah bagus lah tu, you punya tulisan pun dah bagus, tapi because I told you that it's only 20 pages contohnya untuk chapter 1, so you try to cramp it, okay, to make it 20 pages contoh lah. Alright, but anyway all of it is actually a guideline. Alright, so it's a best practice ataupun normally what people are doing it that way. Okay, chapter 1 will be slightly sedikit pagesnya berbanding dengan chapter 2. Chapter 2 can be more, alright, and chapter 3 would be more. Okay, tu as I can share with you lah. Okay, so all of this formatting should follow the guideline given. Alright, writing style, first it has to be professional. First person and prejudice forms are avoided, so you cannot macam self-claim, you cannot be prejudiced, and you cannot explain tentang something yang been discussed macam war, pasal cyber war kan sekarang ni yang banyak lah kan. So Israel Palestine macam last year punya last sem punya cerita banyak kan pasal serangan-serangan, and then we know that Malaysian gatal pula ni apa ni, Malaysian punya apa nama ni, cyber troops is such a warrior lah sampai orang jadi ni lah dengan Malaysian kan tak berani sampai dia boleh deactivate dia punya account yang kes pasal Ziyad tu kan yang Paralympic di Tokyo. So things like that, kalau you don't have to macam nampak macam sangat racist lah. So make it as general as possible lah in order to explain, jangan jadi prejudice lah in other words. Okay, jangan bias and don't put any emotion punya macam nampak sangat you are frustrating about something. Okay, so make it like a clear statement, okay, yang tak bias kat siapa-siapa. And then in terms of tenses, okay, probably it has to be in present tense lah. And then those in literature, okay, the related works of how people are doing it currently ataupun previously, and there is where you have to use apa tu nama dia, past tense. Okay, so make sure you know when to change the tenses. Okay, kalau ada kesempatan, make sure Sebab macam kalau thesis memang selalunya kita akan go for proofread. Okay, saya ingat lagi my PhD thesis pun saya suruh lecturer APB proofread. Even though dia bukan SNT kan, bukan technical, tapi at least dia boleh nampak lah, okay, dia punya consistencies and then my tenses. You know, satu page tu berapa agak-agak? Pernah tak siapa-siapa try hantar untuk proofread?
Tak.
Tak pernah?
Kadang-kadang ada lah.
Berapa?
About yang mana chapter 1 ke?
Satu page berapa dia charge?
Satu.
Tak ingat?
And
10 sen?
no, possibly then kadang-kadang tak ingat sikit.
Oh, sebab bukan I yang bayar.
Tak, sebab kadang-kadang kita ada printer sendiri as a contingency.
Bukan printing. Proofread.
Oh, proofread. Oh, sorry. I misheard it. Sorry, kadang-kadang
Semak balik you punya thesis tu, baca untuk betulkan grammar, betulkan you punya
something like that. Kadang I dah so confident it can overlook sometime lah, macam contoh wisely, tiba-tiba tulis Weasley, something like that lah.
Tapi kalau macam tu grammar typo is you can boleh juga you can use macam Grammarly kan, kita ada software yang free tu lah. Tapi kalau nak license upgrade, dia ada certain function yang dia akan tambah baik lah. Tapi proofread kalau you hantar sebenarnya itu zaman saya 2010 berapa? 10 years back satu page. Teka. Siapa boleh teka?
RM10 ke RM50?
Satu page.
Satu page. Berapa?
10 sen.
RM10.
RM10 maybe around that.
RM20.
20 to 50.
I think right now is RM10 kot, tapi dulu RM7. RM7. So RM7, you just imagine kalau you ada 50 pages ataupun 100 pages lah. So 700.
Oh.
Ya. So memang masa tu saya bayar 700 lebih kot.
Oh, damn.
Saya punya 130 lebih termasuk references kan. So terpulang lah. That's why you have to make it very betul-betul lah. Tapi masters level tak payahlah kot nak sampai pergi hantar, bukan, it's good to be proofread macam tu, tapi yang nak pergi hantar yang macam berbayar macam tu mahal lah. Kalau PhD memang kena. I think for PhD yes kena. Tapi kadang-kadang kalau you buat paper pun, macam you punya thesis tu nanti, you boleh jadikan satu paper tau sebenarnya. So bila you hantar paper pun kadang-kadang you dapat komen. The reviewer will say, please submit to any proofread. Mungkin dia nampak banyak sangat grammar mistakes kan. Dia ni macam, yelah kita kan orang Malaysia ni kan bukannya pandai sangat cakap orang putih kan. Contohnya lah. Alright, so the tenses, the structure of the sentence, okay, punctuation, okay, comma, kat mana bila nak guna comma, kat mana bila nak guna semicolon, okay, especially macam kalau kita buat citation, sekarang ni kita dah tak pakai IEEE, dulu pakai IEEE dia by numbering, 1, 2, 3 kan, tapi kalau pakai citation, pakai APA format kan, dah berbeza. Dia guna alphabetical order. Alright, and then dia punya ni kalau more than 2 authors dekat dalam sentence tu dia akan add L je, dia tambah. Okay, so those formatting semua you kena tahulah. Okay, and then appropriate word usage. Okay, word usage ni dekat sini lah saya pun sekarang ni dah berkecimpung, okay, dah sangat sukalah dengan thesaurus, okay, because it provides us with the similarity tu kan, word tu. Kadang-kadang macam good, macam tak bestnya nak guna perkataan good kan. So maybe you boleh nak emphasize the good tu, you boleh cakap extraordinary, unusual lah, contoh lah. So nampaklah dia macam ayat tu macam canggih sikit lah. Tapi yang tu boleh. Okay, nak bila you nak emphasize something, okay, nak nampak macam exaggerate sikit, boleh. Alright, so pelbagaikan penggunaan perkataan, okay, supaya nampak macam dia bukan karangan budak darjah 6 lah. Okay. So words are capitalized and abbreviated correctly. So kalau you banyak gunakan short form kan, contohnya one, SDN. Okay, so takkanlah setiap kali tu you nak buat software defined network kan, wireless access network macam tu kan. So you have to have an index table, okay, and then kena ada lah dia punya abbreviation tu, ni untuk apa dan sebagainya. Okay, so all those is included in the formatting you can refer to. Okay, general style, neatly produced, read well, and the format for the document has been correctly followed. Okay, I think writing ni is by practice lah. Okay, so kalau you selalu menulis, okay, and you have most of the things ada dalam kepala, nak throw out the ideas tu, you tak ada masalah untuk menulis. Tetapi the problem is if you don't have anything sebenarnya. Okay, so kalau memang tak ada apa-apa tu yang menjadi problem lah. So kalau you memang buat, you dapatlah hasil dia. Alright, the thesis tu. Okay, so ini general structure, title, abstract, table of content, body and bibliography. Okay, major chapter, kalau proposal, ni yang saya sebutkan tadi, introduction which is chapter 1 and then literature review chapter 2 and your research methodology. So expected result and conclusion tu sebenarnya dia sikit je lah di dalam you punya proposal tu. And result and discussion can also be merged. Ini kalau dekat final thesis you nantilah. Okay, so bila you masuk project you nanti, okay, on your thesis or dissertation, so literature review tu may be refined, okay, mengikut kesesuaian keadaan, ataupun tiba-tiba instead of you guna teknologi ni masa you buat proposal, tiba-tiba masa buat project you rasa macam nak tukar. Alright, so then you can change, refine balik you punya literature review. Same goes for methodology. In terms of tenses, sebab dekat proposal your research methodology will be using future tense. Okay, maksudnya the research will be benda macam tu kan. Tetapi kalau dekat final thesis sebab it's already done. Alright, jadi macam development kan. So the research has conducted ataupun has gone through, so dia dah jadi past tense. Alright, so benda-benda macam tu you kena review balik. Okay, so walaupun people always say that masa dekat project ataupun dissertation nanti you just concentrate on two remaining chapters which is result and discussion tu, chapter 4, chapter 5, but you still have to look back on the first 3 chapters tu lah. And normally introduction will be consistent. Sebab kalau introduction tu pun you nak ubah juga, maksudnya you sebab itu pedoman you, direction you kan, objective you nak capai apa. Alright, but if you need to change, normally it's because your initial objective is not achieved. So that's why you make some changes to that lah. That is allowable. Alright. Okay, ada soalan on the chapters? Tak ada
Ada doktor.
Okay, tak ada. Alright, good. Saya proceed. Okay, ini dia punya title page. Ni keadaan ni tadi. So ni tadi saya baru membersihkan bilik saya. Separuh lagi, nanti petang lagi saya masuk. So kita ada, kalau dulu degree hijau colour dia kan. Kalau masters biru gelap lah. Okay, and then kita pernah ada biru muda. So biru muda tu dulu is actually untuk special topic. Ataupun kadang-kadang kita bagi independent study. So tapi sekarang ni tak adalah, sekarang ni is dissertation all is in blue, dark blue tu. Tapi sekarang ni pun banyak dah pergi pada CD je kan. So I think it's a value lah untuk you have your own hard copy jugalah. So selalunya student akan ada juga, and for me the supervisor pun selalu I will keep one. Okay, my ex-students punya. Okay. Alright, research title. I am very happy. Saya rasa saya dah share juga last week, kalau you talk about title, it's rather be dulu-dulu saya suka guna macam RESS, titik bertindih. Kita cakap contohnya apa maksud tu RESS tu, adalah nama dia kan, contohnya kan ataupun MyV, okay, titik bertindih My Village contohnya. Tetapi sebenarnya it's not a good practice, okay, to have your title with colon tu, double colon tu. Sebabnya ini bukannya commercial products yet, okay. A good title is the one that reflecting what you are doing, okay. So it shows what, ada what, and then using, saya rasa saya dah mention juga tools ataupun teknik apa yang you guna. And the third one is for, okay, for who. Alright, so if you have all these three components dalam you punya title, so dia dah reflect the whole of your research. Okay. Excuse me. Gatal hidung. Okay. As important as the whole research itself. Okay, so catchy and memorable title. So dari segi catchy tu maksudnya macam bila cakap what tu kan. Excuse me. Ya Allah itu aku. Macam kita cakap what tu, mesti ada macam performance measurement ke ataupun independent value, okay, apa added value of your research tu. So dia punya parameter tu you boleh masukkan satu, yang reducing ke ataupun tapi avoid from guna perkataan yang melebih-lebih lah, macam efficient. Efficient tu sebab bila you guna efficient dia macam trap you, because people will ask how the efficient is your system yang you cakap efficient tu. Sebab you have to also compare dengan existing. Okay, so kalau betul yours is better, then that is considered efficient lah. So efficient dari segi time-nya ke. So benda-benda macam tu kena make sure it's not berlebih-lebih. Alright. Interesting and captivating. Okay. So something yang people can easily remember. Okay, contohnya to reduce the overload ke, ataupun optimization ke, ataupun securing. So ayat-ayat apa you punya keyword yang you gunakan dekat dalam you punya thesis tu, yang ataupun yang project you hasilkan, that can be put in your title. Boring and conventional titles is like invites negative impression to reader even if it is contents in a good quality. Sebab kita selalu memang nak tengok nama je dulu, kan? So kalau panjang berjela-jela pun tak berapa good sangat lah. And if you are telling everything down dalam kat situ, tak berapa juga. Macam saya punya tajuk thesis Mobile Service Architecture in Future Mobile Environments. Boleh guess tak apa benda? That is my PhD thesis. Mobile Service Architecture in Future Mobile Environments. Tak boleh imagine. Ada dua komponen ataupun sebenarnya tiga lah yang saya tambah baik dekat Mobile Service Architecture tu. Saya buat architecture tu berdasarkan architecture yang sedia ada. I emphasize dan I tambah baik architecture tersebut dengan menambahkan elemen service discovery, service matching dan juga service naming. So bila ada tiga elemen tu, dia memudahkan allow for service continuity di dalam mobile environment. Sebab mobile environment yang future mobile environments tu sekarang ni lah, maksudnya kan kita ada banyak network. Kita bukannya homogeneous, okay, the network is heterogeneous, okay. Kita for as long as kita punya phone tu ada interface wireless LAN, kita ada komponen kita GSM kan, untuk cellular network. So kita boleh guna phone call, okay, voice telephony service, sama ada melalui GSM call ataupun melalui WhatsApp call contohnya. So For us, it's still communication. It's still voice telephony. Alright, but the implementation wise is totally different. One is using cellular network and another one is using voice over IP. Kan? Tapi how it's actually been matching. Okay, so kat situ lah kita ada elemen-elemen semantik dan sebagainya lah. Tu cerita pasal PhD lah. So bila orang baca je tajuk tu, orang nak tahu apa yang dimaksudkan dengan future mobile environments, apa yang ada dalam dia punya mobile service architecture. So benda-benda tu would be covered dalam you punya thesis dan orang lagi nak tahu. So that's why dia akan terus baca you punya thesis. Alright? Faham tak maksud saya?
Faham.
Faham tak tu?
Alright, so characteristics of a good title, ada positive impression and stimulate reader interest. So positive impression tu at least you put one value lah of your research tu sebagai you punya key dalam you punya title tu. And then is retrieval in standard index and abstract using appropriate keyword. Yes, tu saya sebutkan berkali-kali. Okay, you kena tahu keyword you punya project tu apa. Macam saya kata service continuity, service matching, service naming, self discovery contohnya. Okay, so bila cakap tu je you ada keyword tu dia automatically can explain about your project ataupun your research. And then use current nomenclature of the field. So kalau kita sekarang ni we are talking about cyber security, we are talking about wireless network, mobile technologies contohnya. So whatever that is widely used lah, very current punya technologies ke ataupun nomenclature. And then indicate subject and scope with some accuracy and include key variables. Okay, key variables ni ingat last week kita belajar pasal dependent dengan independent. Ingat? Boleh bagi contoh dependent dengan independent? Anyone? Siapa nak bagi contoh? Ingat lagi tak? Last week kita belajar dependent dengan independent.
Ingat.
Ingat.
Boleh bagi contoh? Satu contoh.
Yang last week punya contoh yang the sleep hours affect he spend time working on computers affect
Okay.
dengan sleep hours, dia punya sleep hours tu.
Okay, so which one is the independent?
Independent yang the hours he spend time dekat depan komputer.
That cause to affect dia punya
Affect the
sleeping.
sleep hours.
So yang sleeping hours tu adalah dia punya dependent. DV dia okay, so dependent tu selalu kemudian. Alright, yang mana yang cause tu. Okay, due to, okay, akibat daripada dia spend banyak masa dekat komputer ataupun yang case smoking tu kan, bad habit in life ke ataupun yang nak get kurus tu ke, whatever lah yang you can give an example of. Okay, so contoh kalau you masukkan you punya tajuk tu optimizing cellular network with the implementation of load balancing contohnya. So load balance is actually the apa? Dependent ke independent?
I guess independent.
Yes, independent sebab dengan melakukan load balance tu dia akan able to optimize the network. Alright, optimize tu dia punya DB. Okay, dependent value. Faham
Yeah.
Alright. So kalau sekarang ni bila sekarang I think maybe nanti saya tambah lagi satu kolom tu yang tak berapa nak ada sambutan tu. Dependent and independent. So kalau you boleh nampak yang tu nanti you boleh formulate you punya tajuk lah. Alright, include relationship between variables, okay, yang akan support you punya hypothesis and is limited to 15 to 20. Tengok boleh panjang sampai 20. Nama anak pun sekarang ni ada yang sampai 45 kan. So tajuk boleh sampai 20 tapi saya pun tak encourage lah sampai 20. Nanti payah nak ingat tajuk dia apa lah. Entahlah yang ada SDN tu lah, semua orang ada SDN. SDN yang mana pula ni? So make sure it's something yang bila sebut je, oh Mahfuz punya projek yang mana? Macam ni tadi saya kena ingat lah ni yang buat pasal intrusion detection tadi tu kan. So I have to remember. So make yourself better ataupun familiar with your project so that dia macam you jual your idea tau. This is the part, this is the time proposal kan. You are convincing people. So orang nampak you je, orang nampak apa yang you nak buat. Dia menghantui even your lecturer, your supervisor atau perhaps nanti your examiner. So dia dah nampak dah. Bila kita sebut contoh yang macam saya yang last sem tu, saya ingat lah Hanif dia nak buat pasal blockchain, Irman dia nak pasal media warfare contohnya, and then Akram nak buat pasal SOC contohnya. So kita dah nampak dia ni buat apa. So okay, tailgate si Hairul Fazli, well if I can remember their names, tak ramai kan, tapi yang kali ni I got no chance yet. Okay, tapi give me time, insyaAllah by end of semester saya akan cuba ingat your names with your project. Okay, walaupun dia berseligat-seligat antara 798, 750, CS708 dengan CS709. Okay, so does not include study of, analysis of. Yes, ini tak cantik. Kalau assignment, case study boleh. Okay, nak buat ni. Tapi memang dulu-dulu memang student suka. And analysis of, the development of kan, kalau kita punya FYP kan. Sebenarnya that is not, that is already what you're doing. Okay, that is not your thesis. Okay, kalau kita tengok pun dekat objektif dah ada dah. Development, to develop ataupun to study, to analyse. So you don't need to put that, okay, in your title. It's not going to be reflecting your whole work actually. Okay, guna perkataan dependent dengan independent. Okay, recommendation. Avoid words that add nothing to a reader's understanding. Studies on, investigations, research, some problems in, the effect of. Nah, okay, we don't need that such words. Okay, sebab benda tu macam a part of it. Okay, it's not your contribution. Okay, so your contribution should should highlight on the keywords as well the two variables tadi. Okay, yang digunakan. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan tak tentang title? Kita nak pergi tunjuk contoh-contoh dah ni. Ada?
Tak ada.
Tak ada.
Okay.
Tak ada.
Okay, kita tengok dulu Juvenile delinquency as the result of television. Okay, so dia punya juvenile delinquency ni is dia punya variables apa? Dependent ke independent? Hello?
Dependent.
Dependent.
Juvenile delinquency dependent. Result television tu dia punya
Punca. Okay.
dia punya independent. Tapi result tu dia punya relationship lah. Okay. Macam ni, death penalty, is it beneficial or unfavorable? Okay, beneficial or unfavorable? Yang mana? Dependent, independent? Mana? Okay.
That penalty tu independent kot.
Tadi.
Death penalty tu independent. Lepas tu beneficial or unfavorable on the death penalty tu, akibat daripada death penalty. So itu yang menjadi dia punya independent. Dependent. Betul?
Betul.
Alright, the TV impact on the modern society. TV impact modern society. Yang mana satu independent, yang mana satu dependent?
TV impact.
TV impact.
TV impact itu adalah
Dependent.
Independent.
okay, modern society adalah dependent. Okay. The controversial character of Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte itself is independent lah kan? Controversial character tu dia yang yang depend pada Napoleon Bonaparte. Faham?
Betul.
Faham.
Tak faham.
Tak faham? Sebab Napoleon Bonaparte is the person itself. So dia dependent. Dia independent. So controversial character tu yang bergantung kepada Napoleon Bonaparte. Karakter-karakter tu.
Oh, okay.
Alright, ni nampak easier sikit kot sebab ini berdasarkan kepada tajuk-tajuk thesis lah. Lambda max criteria weight determination in an adaptive neuro-fuzzy inference system. Okay. Kalau kita tengok, dia dah bagi tahu dah kat mana domain dia adalah adaptive neuro-fuzzy inference system. So kat sini yang mana dia punya variable yang kita pakai. Sekejap Adaptive neuro-fuzzy ni dependent ke independent?
Independent.
Yes.
Independent.
Selalunya yang independent tu dia kat belakang. Okay, so criteria weight determination tu ialah yang dependent lah terhadap adaptive neuro-fuzzy inference system. So lambda max tu dia punya tools lah ataupun ciri yang dipakai lah. Okay, next, a new classifier based on the integration of Jacob and Mahalanobis equation in shape recognition. So mana satu independent, mana satu dependent.
Shape tu independent.
Shape recognition. Sebab dia kat belakang. Okay, so dependent dia?
Jacket.
New classifier.
Jacob and Mahalanobis. New classifier tu yang dia akan buat contribution dia. Faham tak? Itu dia punya hasil dia, key value dia. So yang merah tu variables. Okay, yang biru tu dia punya relationship ataupun dia punya value dia terhadap dua variables itu. Faham Itu kita bezakan dia dengan color tu tadi. Okay, so dalam tajuk tu selain daripada dia ada independent dan dependent, dia ada juga ciri ataupun keyword ataupun value ataupun apa yang dia buat. Okay, yang mengesahkan hipotesis dia. So that is what we call as a relationship between the variables. Okay, so contoh yang ketiga tu, okay, new channel state tu yang belakang tu adalah dia punya independent. Orthogonal space and continuous phase modulation tu adalah dia punya dependent, and combining tu dia punya relationship, which is dia punya keyword lah, apa yang dia buat, key value dia. Faham Faham tak?
Okay, faham.
Okay, cuba yang keempat. Yang keempat. Anyone wants to try? Apa dia? Kansei tu ialah independent, okay.
Motion tu
Emotion measurement tu adalah dia punya dependent, okay. And feasibility tu adalah dia punya key value. Boleh
Boleh. Cuma pre-emo tu sebagai apa? Pre-emo.
Primo tu sama. Dia pre-emo tu adalah a part of emotion measurement tool. Tools yang ada dalam emotion measurement tool. Pre-emo kita pakai. Okay, so dia adalah juga dependent. Okay. Boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Okay. Sekarang ni memang hari ni kita bagi you kau untuk bagi you bukan ample time, bagi you opportunity untuk kritik title orang, untuk kritik abstract orang. Lepas ni nanti you buat sendiri, you tengok you boleh buat ke tak boleh buat. Okay, kita tengok yang first one, title critic one. A study on the elements of an optimal experience. Alah, dia dah tulis dah kat sini. Apa yang tak best dia kat title ni? Best ke tak best title ni?
To study.
A study kan, dia guna perkataan study tu kan. So tak perlu letak. Relationship dia ada tak?
Ada tak macam elemen tu bukan?
Element of tak? Okay, tapi catchy tak? Catchy and memorable.
Tak.
Tak.
Kan?
Dia macam tertanya-tanya sebab optimal experience on apa?
Yes.
Like
Dia macam
Tergantung.
yes, dia macam ada satu variable je. Dia tak ada dua-dua, dependent dengan independent kan. Dia ada optimal experience on apa kan? Betul. Lepas tu adakah dia highlight the content of research work?
Tidak.
Tak ada.
tak ada.
Dia macam tergantung. So, poor. Okay, ni yang kedua. Women engineers inquire perception of gender bias. First things first, apa yang ada kat situ? Yang saya kata avoid from using.
Titik bertindih tu.
Perception.
Dot. Dia dot.
Titik bertindih tak payah. Okay, lagi? Perception.
Perception. Perception boleh rasa.
Dia punya independent apa?
Dependent
Perception. Tak.
perception. I can say perception.
Women engineers?
Dependent.
Women engineers.
Women engineers.
Sebab dia
Bukan. Sebenarnya yang first tu women engineers inquire tu dia punya domain je.
Oh.
Apa pun.
okay.
Tu domain dia. Dia nak study dekat situ. Tapi gender bias tu lah. Gender bias tu dia punya variables dia. Variable apa? Independent ke dependent?
Dependent.
Dependent. Gender bias. Tergantung ke tak? Dia macam first study sebenarnya ni.
Dia tergantung.
Okay, cuma dia kata kalau nak tukar title dia, perception of gender bias in regarding women's engineer in Kuwait. Tak ada dot-dot tu.
Terbalik rephrase.
Perception boleh pakai ke boleh? Tak ada isu.
Tapi sebenarnya perception tu pun dia macam dia punya study kan, perception of. Dia bukan macam hasil result you tu. Ni baru nak tunjuk you study on what. Tapi dia kata good lah. Good ke tidak?
Dia tercapai lah apa yang maksud dia nak sampaikan.
Macam siapa tadi cakap rephrase tu.
Rephrase je.
Bias among women engineers in Kuwait. Contohnya Okay, abstract pula.
Madam. Kiranya yang tadi tu dia tak masukkan independent punya variable lah.
Yang ni lah dia punya variables dia adalah gender bias tu. Perception tu dia punya value, relationship dia. Women engineers tu dia punya independent.
Okay.
Okay, let's look now at abstract. Okay, sebelum tu tak ada soalan
Tak ada kata.
Tak ada.
Abstract
Tak
ni
ada.
abstract 4 komponen penting. Okay, saya rasa siapa yang pernah FYP ataupun proposal dengan saya dulu pun saya selalu cakap abstract. Saya suka abstract sebab abstract ni dia macam menceritakan the whole thing tentang you punya project. Macam title tadi dia menggambarkan tapi abstract tu is a summarization of the whole thing that you did lah in your project atau in your research. So abstract, I think I already mention juga yang dia in one page tu dia 3/4 of it. Okay, so apa nama ni apa tadi? Dia ada 4 komponen utama. Okay, POMR. Alright, problem, objective, method and result. Okay, so dan dia in a paragraph lah. Okay, jadi kat sini pun dia tulis 400 words. Tapi kadang-kadang kalau you kena buat paper, okay, so 400 words tu pun dah kira banyak. Selalunya 150 to 200 ataupun 250 lah paling-paling. But 400 words tu is actually the 3/4 of your A4 page tu lah. Okay, so selalunya problem tu dia dalam 2-3 statement. Okay, objektif tu 2 statement, 1 hingga 2 statement. Sentence. And then method tu 1 hingga 2 sentence. And result tu is 1 sentence. Alright, so kalau you campur berapa? 3, 2, 2, 1. Berapa? 3, 4, 7, 8. Dalam 8 sentences. So kalau you boleh kembang-kembangkan lagi, kalau you nak up to 400 words tu, mungkin dia akan jadi dalam 15, bukan sentences, 15, bukan patah perkataan tau, ayat. Sentences lah kan, ayat. So 1 ayat, 2 ayat, 3 ayat sampai 8 to 15 ayat. Alright, so that is actually about abstract. So it has this explanation on why the work is important. Okay, so that's where you explain in the introduction tu. And then give summary of your major result. Final sentence explain the major implication of your work. And selalunya a good project is the one yang ada relate ataupun yang solve yang bersesuaian dengan dasar kerajaan ke ataupun solve SDG ke, yang you boleh relatekan dengan kita punya current situation lah, mungkin dasar ekonomi baru ke, something that on perkhidmatan ataupun polisi tentang keselamatan, cyber security, SDG lah kalau paling senang nak tengok, we have this SDG kan, 17 areas tu, maybe no poverty ke, ataupun you nak cakap human rights ke, gender, tak ada gender bias ke, from that 17 SDG criteria tu, you may also choose and put it as a part of your research contribute to. Okay, kat mana dia memberi implikasi yang bagus lah kepada nation ataupun community, society dan sebagainya. So abstract ni adalah satu ayat penyata tentang you punya own work, and you don't have to put any citation. Okay, so perhaps you can answer to these questions. What you plan to do, why you want to do it, how will you do it, what do you expect to learn, and why does it matter. Okay, so that would be answered by that POMR tu lah. What you plan to do, okay, latar belakang, ada dekat problem, why you want to do it, okay, how will you do it, okay, the objective and the methodology, and what do you expect. So selalunya dekat proposal, abstract tu memang dah ada juga, okay, we have marks for abstract ada yang last time dia lupa masuk kat abstract, tak pasal-pasal dah rugi 1 markah kat situ. So dekat result tu selalunya untuk proposal kita akan cakap the result of this research will be. Okay, sebab dia tak ada result lagi. Kan, expected to be lah. Tapi kalau dekat final thesis, you akan tukar kepada the result of this research is ataupun the implementation the result indicates that the implementation of swarm algorithm in may reduce the cyber attacks, contohnya lah. Alright, so make sure it is sesuai, okay, according to kat mana structure tu berada, okay, whether it is in a proposal stage ataupun final thesis. So there's always a revise, okay, process, and you jangan ingat once done it's done like that, okay, dia mesti ada changes, okay, slightly change between your proposal and your thesis. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan? Faham tak yang ni?
Faham.
Okay, faham Alright. Okay, this is the best practice. Oh, dah ada dah ni. A brief summary of approximately 300 words. Okay, tadi dia kata 400 kan? Ni 300. 300. Tapi saya cakap 150 to 250. Tapi up to you lah. Kita tengok macam ni. So there will be 1 to 2 statements on the introduction, 1 to 2 statement of problem, issues, motivations tu, and then 1 to 2 statements of objective, okay, atau aim, okay, and 1 to 2 statement of methodology, and 1 to 2 statement on the anticipated result, okay, plus the significance. Ni yang kalau you campur semua ni 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Betul lah macam saya sebutkan tadi. It's either 8 to 15 kan statement sentences. So yeah, this may be your guideline lah. Okay. And tolong tutupkan lampu ni. Okay. Kita tengok ni. Yang tadi yang ayat yang tajuk tergantung tadi. Tak nampak lah. Nampak tak muka? Study the elements of an optimal experience. Cuba seorang baca. Can I have siapa? Mahfuz. Saya kenal Mahfuz je lah. Sebut je lah nama Mahfuz. Mahfuz ada? Mahfuz baca je. Nanti saya panggil orang lain untuk highlight yang mana problem, yang mana objektif, mana method, mana result. Okay, cepat. Hello, Mahfuz ada? Buka balik lah aku.
Problem saya.
Yang jawab tu lah siapa tu?
Isyad.
Okay, Isyad, tolong Isyad.
Okay. This paper presents and assess a framework for an engineering capstone design program. We explain how students' preparation, project selection, and instructor mentorship are the 3 key elements that must be addressed before the capstone experience is ready for the students. Next, we describe a way to administer and execute the capstone design experience, including design workshops and lead engineers. We describe the importance in assessing the capstone design experience and report recent assessment results of our framework. We comment specifically on what students thought were the most important aspects of their experience in engineering capstone design and provide quantitative insight into what parts of the framework are most important.
Alright, good. Sebelum tu, is it a good or poor abstract? Secara general, kita tak cerita pasal
Middle ni dah semua.
Satu dia guna perkataan we tu macam tak sesuai.
kan?
We tu
We tu kan?
terlalu
Ya.
banyak.
We macam karangan je kan. Okay, lepas tu ada problem tak jumpa? Dia start dengan this paper presents and assess.
So this okay lah, I boleh accept that.
Problem dia macam tak ada.
Dia terus intro, dia tak ada intro kan? Dia terus cakap apa dia nak buat kan?
Terus direct.
Terus cakap apa paper tu buat kan? Present and assess. Okay. Dia macam metodologi yang banyak. Okay. Objektif pun ada lah. Present and assess framework tu. Tapi itu metodologi pun. Itu bukannya objektif. Ni objektif kan? Explain, describe, comment. Okay. Let's look. Ni dia punya kritik dia. Introduction tak ada, dia cakap. Okay. Lepas tu apa lagi dia cakap ni?
We tu, the we part.
Problem tak ada. Okay, kejap. We written in first person voice tu tak boleh. Lepas tu objektif ada lah kan? Present and assess tu
Objektif saja yang ada.
Ya,
Objektif memang ada.
ada.
Atas tu.
Method sebenarnya ada. Ni semua method lah ni kan, explain. Tapi sebenarnya bila you cakap pasal method, you kena generalize kan. Bukannya cerita satu-satu apa you buat. Dia kena macam okay, sebab we are talking about, sebab tu saya kata method and methodology is slightly different. Memang dia ada titik temu. Okay, ITT 750 is talking about method, but ITT 798 is research methodology, whereby research methodology yang melihat kepada the whole thing. Okay, when we talk about research methodology, it's actually an input with the process and what is the output. Okay, the whole bunch of these three. Okay, the whole process ni daripada input kepada menghasilkan output. while when we talk about method, it's actually only the process part tu tadi kat tengah-tengah tu. Alright, so method apa kita pakai? Okay, contohnya. So kalau contohnya kalau system development, kita ada rapid application, kita ada agile, kita ada waterfall life cycle. So that is methodology. Sebab dalam tu dia ada the whole daripada input kepada prosesnya kepada apa outputnya. Okay, so perhaps in this abstract, katalah dia buat system development ke kan. So mungkin dia buat the research is conducted using a research design process, okay, which involve analysis, analisis ke describe ni, and then uh, proses tu lah. Tapi tak payah cakap satu macam tu tadi. Alright, so you kena cerita method in general. Okay, dalam satu apa method you pakai. Alright, ataupun metodologi dia juga. And then anticipated result pun tak ada. Okay. Terus dia lebih kepada describe only the organisation of the paper. Okay. Apa yang dia nak buat tu. Jadi significance contribution pun tak ada. Okay. Dah lah tajuk dia pun tadi tergantung kan. Lepas tu dia punya abstract pun tak berapa bagus sangat. Okay. So let's look at second example. Okay, result dia poor. Ni dia tambah macam mana kita nak improve paper tadi, abstract tadi. Introduction kena ada, problem kena ada, lepas tu yang tu boleh. Okay, a framework tu. And then tambah juga significance. Alright. Yang ni. Siapa nak guess? Okay, siapa nak baca? Anyone? Ada perempuan tak? Kemi ada Kemi? Kemi tolong baca Kemi?
Ya doktor, sekejap ya.
Okay.
Women engineers in Kuwait, perception of gender bias. Past studies have shown increasing interest on gender biasness and curtailment of policies. The greatest obstacle to the development of policies for the curtailment of gender bias is lack of information on the scope and effects of the problem. This study represents an attempt to quantify attitudes toward gender bias among professional women engineers working in the state of Kuwait. The following results are expected to be achieved. A. The growth rate in the participation of women in higher education in Kuwait. B. The ratio of the professional Kuwaiti women engineers surveyed expressed a feeling of equality with or even superiority to their male counterparts on job-related factors. Example, salary scale, professional treatment, responsibility, benefits and vacation. C. The job-related factor in which significant gender bias would be found in operation. Example, promotion to upper management positions. The findings will show how the women engineers surveyed felt with regards to equality to their male colleagues. The result of this study will become a reference to the policymakers in developing future policy that could equally satisfy different genders.
Alright, good. Thank you Kemi. Good ke apa? In general.
Okay.
Good.
Kan?
Okay.
Sebab dia ada sequence dia kan? Dia nampak dia punya consistencies, apa yang dia nak buat tu, apa yang dia buat well explained in the abstract. Now, can anyone spell out yang mana satu kita start dengan problem? Okay, problem ada tak kita jumpa? Ataupun
Lack of information.
sebelum tu introduction dia adalah kan yang past studies tu kan. Lepas tu the greatest obstacle tu would be dia punya problem lah kan, lack of information kan. Okay, lepas tu objektif dia
To quantify attitude.
objektif dia semua tu yang ABC tu. Okay, so ini abstract apa? Abstract dekat proposal ke abstract dekat dekat project? Final abstract.
Proposal
proposal.
are expected to.
Expected to. Lepas tu dekat dia punya result pun the findings will show how the women engineers The result of the study will become a reference. Kan? So betul, objektif ada. Now method ada tak? Dekat dia punya objektif tu dia dah explain sikit lah macam mana dia nak buat kan.
By using tu.
Okay, dia punya expected result ada tak?
Finding.
Ada.
Yang mana?
Yang ABC.
Itu objektif.
Expected result dia will show how the woman engineers surveyed felt with regards to blah 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 blah.
Right. Okay. So significant? Ada significant tak?
Will become a reference to the policy makers.
Yes. Okay. Yang ni dia menunjukkan dia punya importance ataupun the significance of dia punya result tu nanti akan menjadi reference kepada policy makers. Okay. You can also use this example lah. Alright. So introduction ada, problem, issues, motivation ada, objektif ada. Metodnya pun ada. Oh, using survey technique ni tadi tak perasan. Metodnya pun ada. So itulah yang ni method tau. So kita that's why survey is one of the method use. Okay, so dia gunakan survey, kaedah survey. And then anticipated result. Oh, dia cakap kat sini ni anticipated result. Sebenarnya ni objektif dia. Lepas tu dia punya significance adalah result of this study will become a reference tadi. So it covers all. Okay, semuanya ada di situ. Boleh juga you nak buat satu-satu, the objective of your research would be A, B, C macam ni, ataupun you boleh generalizekan buat satu dalam bentuk aim pun boleh juga. Okay, so the result is good. Okay. This will be an exercise. I think sebab dia akan berkait dengan you punya assignment yang mana ada journal kritik kan. I need you all to come up with ataupun to look for 3 examples paper journal lah kalau boleh yang related to yang you nak buat nantilah. Okay. And then assess the title and suggest how it can be improved. Same goes for the abstract. And then underline and highlight the item as in the example. Macam tu lah. Introduction ada ke tak, problem ada ke tak. So kalau tiga-tiga you cari, kalau boleh tiga-tiga tu ada yang poor, ada yang good ataupun tiga-tiga good pun tak apa jugalah. Okay, of course kalau dia dah publish sepatutnya adalah something yang good lah kan. Kalau tak mesti reviewer dia akan bagi komen tu. Okay, and then you share your judgement. Yang ni kita akan buat exercise tu minggu depan so that you have 1 week to prepare on your journal tu lah, nak cari 3 journal tu. And at the same time, you kena juga try to come up with your title as well as your abstract. Okay, so title dulu. Okay, abstract tu saya tahu a little bit challenging, but if you can have an abstract as well, that would be very good lah. Okay, and then kita akan refine time to time. Okay, I'm not sure whether... Oh, ada lagi lah. Okay. Banyak lagi Okay, nak proceed ke? Sebab saya ingatkan nak tengok one by one kita punya... banyak lah pula. Aduh, penatnya. Okay, saya ingatkan nak tengok kita punya yang ni. Kita punya Excel tu. Tapi saya tengok ramai lagi yang tak buat tu. Macam mana tu? Do you want to proceed or...
Kita go one by one.
Tengok one by one. Tapi nak tengok one by one apa? Seorang je pun baru isi lah. Lepas tu...
Semua isi kan?
Mana? Kejap saya share.
Macam dah banyak isi.
Tak ramai isi kan?
Tak ramai.
Okay. Okay, nampak? yang ni Syafiqah seorang yang Daisy. Yang ni yang apa 708. Yang 750 lagi lah. Mana Daisy? Isi supervisor je. Ingat ni main cok-cok supervisor je ke? Topiknya tak ada? Ada.
Okay,
Mana
noted.
kan? Kena isi ni. Ni contoh saya nak discuss ni. Sebab hari ni sebenarnya memang saya nak discuss ni sebenarnya. Nak tengok ni satu-satu.
Doktor just nak tanya.
Kalau
Apa dia?
Just nak tanya, saya sebenarnya dah ada isi saya punya proposal title lah. Previous punya subjek 765 yang special topic tu.
Okay,
Cuma dia punya title tu macam exactly sebab saya tengah study dia punya title macam mana. Tapi sekarang saya baru
Kenapa tak letak kat sini? Takut orang lain nampak ke? Letak je. Nanti kita discuss. Memang tujuannya untuk diletakkan dan dikongsi bersama. So that when I comment the others, yang lain pun boleh nampak juga. Sebab nanti kalau I keep on repeating, you keep on repeating the same mistakes and I keep on you among yourself, okay? And I keep on explaining and cakap benda yang sama kan? So might as well kita table out everything here. So that bila saya komen yang lain perasan, lepas tu dia akan baiki dia punya part juga. So there's no right or wrong. Okay, don't worry. It's not going to be a marks here sebenarnya. Bukanlah. Maksudnya tak ada satu markah yang based on this one lah. Tapi it's actually when you put this, kita tahulah you are working on something, kan?
sorry
Okay.
doktor. Tadi saya punya mic kalau dia kenapa so saya try je lah.
Oh, you dah masuk dalam tu tapi tak keluar. Okay, can I have Syafiqah ada?
Saya.
Okay. Alright, Syafiqah, dia punya problem is cyber attacks are becoming increasingly prevalent and intricate. So what you're going to do, you nak buat IDS lah, intrusion detection, betul?
Betul. Tapi tu macam saya baru baca-baca journal dulu. Tak confirm lagi.
Oh, tapi yang problem one ni it's not a problem lah. Intrusion is a problem. Detection is what you want to do. So intrusion.
Oh, intrusion is the problem.
Intrusion which caused by apa? Kan, when everybody is connecting to the internet, kan? So the it is exposed to exposed to harm lah kan. And one of it is intrusion. Okay, from you do not know who kan. Anybody can intercept you and all that. So that is a problem. And then cyber attacks are becoming increasingly prevalent and intricate ni pun due to apa? Kenapa berlakunya cyber attacks ni? So maybe you boleh kaitkan dengan types of intrusion tu sebab kita nak zoom kepada intrusion kan. So people tend to do being an intruder kerana nak maklumat. Okay, ataupun nak hack the system. Okay, mostly untuk apa? Untuk money ke kan. So you kena explain it. Dia bukan satu ayat yang macam general sangat benda ni. Ini okay, so bila saya baca ni kan, cyber attacks are becoming increasingly prevalent and intricate. So kan, so dia kena your problem should be should be explained explicitly, alright, secara terus. Faham
Faham.
So same goes for others, alright. I really hope you can have this lah. Do you need this session untuk letak benda ni, a dedicated session? Sebab saya tak nak saya lecture je tapi the practical one you didn't do it, kan? Rasa macam ini yang sangat penting. Sama juga dengan 750 ni. Can I give you time dulu ke dalam sampai pukul 1? 7 minit. Sempat? Nak masukkan? Otherwise we cannot proceed ni. Giving
Alamak, macam tak ready lagi lah doktor.
okay, cop macam ni. 750 sebenarnya
Kalau kita discuss next week boleh tak doktor? Kita cuba fill up.
tapi sepatutnya kejap tak kerja. Sepatutnya minggu depan nak tengok yang abstract tu, yang latihan saya bagi tadi. Kan? Sepatutnya dia kena sebab saya tak nak jadi macam last sem lah. Maksudnya lambat kan kita assign, jadi you all lambat approach supervisor. Sebab kalau boleh kali ni kita nak macam end of October ataupun week 4 semua masing-masing dah submit you punya MAF tu. Dah ada supervisor lah. So we really need to discuss on this earlier. I don't want to repeat the same mistake lah sebenarnya. Sebab comment from the seniors is that benda ni kita start lewat hari tu. Jadi sebab saya concentrate more on the lecture part kan. Jadi bila ni dah masuk after cuti baru kita start. Jadi dia orang rasa masa singkat untuk siapkan dia punya proposal tu. Ataupun you still macam tak ada idea macam mana nak buat. My explanation is not ni lagi. If you need more explanation then I can just proceed lah dekat slide tadi. Macam ni.
For me it's more to saya tak ada idea nak buat topik apa.
Betul.
Saya tak nampak sangat. I mean apa tajuk yang could be a good potential to write as for my thesis.
Tapi itulah I think for 750 students you have the privilege and you have the advantage of having 795 earlier kan, last sem kan.
Yeah.
So I was informed that that is like a problem formulation punya kind of subject. So probably when you have already undertake that one, maksud you already have something to ponder on lah during your dissertation and project. Agak-agak kalau proceed dengan tajuk 795 tu je tak boleh.
Dia sebab saya pun yang tajuk 795 tu macam 50-50 tak tahu nak teruskan ke tidak sebab it is something that I am not familiar with. So
Okay.
I was thinking of like finding a new topic.
Alright. In that case, well, never been too late lah. Next week will be week 3. Saya cuba contact because tadi you all ada kelas dengan Dr. AA kan? Okay, saya try to bring up Dr. AA and team perhaps untuk dia have a session dengan you all. I think maybe 798 pun boleh juga join lah. Like 1 hour je before we start our class, macam 11 hingga 12 ke next week. So let's say if they have any real case problem untuk dia bagi kat you all and then you guys can take it lah. Tapi bear in mind once you have that real case problem, maksudnya memang you have to solve the problem lah. Using what and all that. So boleh lah kalau you nak macam tu, boleh saya dedicate one session dengan Dr. AA.
Boleh?
Next week.
Boleh juga.
Anyway, any one of you attend yang last Friday punya session tak on etika tu? Ada yang masuk tak? Ke tak masuk?
Saya tak.
Not.
Okay, tak apalah nanti saya share. Sebab it's also very important especially when you punya project adalah involve real case problem. Dan macam security lagilah kan melibatkan data-data mungkin data-data sebenar, okay, manusia kan. Kalau haiwan lain cerita dia. Tapi dan ada juga kalau data tu untuk kids. Okay, I need to share with you that one. So that you know what to isi lah, maksudnya whether your research involves any ethical conduct lah, contohnya untuk dilindungi sebenarnya dia bukan nak menyusahkan you, dia nak make sure yang whatever research that you're doing, you have that responsibility lah to protect the data and things like that. Jadi kalau you dah isi form tu, means benda tu dah protected lah. Dan sekiranya dia tidak melibatkan mana-mana, contohnya you kata ini data you sendiri, ini adalah uji kaji ni pun adalah control environment, things like that. So ada juga satu form yang exemption for ethic punya, okay, untuk pengecualian. So maksudnya in other words, semua orang kena isi lah, okay, whether it's a form yang melibatkan etika ataupun exemption. Jadi I think I have to, kita akan create lepas ni kita akan proceed with Gmeet and G Classroom. So saya akan put everything also in there. I'm not sure whether we need to combine. Tak payahlah, tak payah combine lah. Okay, and then kita benda tu pun sama juga macam MAF, kalau boleh like week 4 macam tu dah settle lah. Okay, in order for you to sebab dia ada proses ambil masa dalam 2 minggu juga. Takut ambil masa lama kan untuk you apa benda tu dibuat kan. Jadi akan kacau you punya proses research tu. Okay, faham tak maksud saya?
Faham doktor.
Okay, so tak apa, since tak siap lagi yang ni, I think I will just have to proceed lah kalau macam tu. Saya sebab saya tak nak lah, sebab macam last sem memang saya concentrate banyak dekat slide. Okay, saya lebih rasa macam saya nak cakap semua lah, nak share semua dengan you all. Tapi bila implementation dia, saya takut ada yang macam you all apa tu orang kata terlambat ke kan, just because of exercise ni lambat berlangsung. Okay, so lepas ni saya harap sebab ramai ni you all ada double out from the previous time kan. So previous time saya tak risau sangat sebab 7 orang aja, sebab kali ni because I need to look one by one. Okay, otherwise I have to just macam agree je lah dengan apa you buat, macam takut saya tak check betul-betul. Kalau boleh saya nak check lah semua. Boleh kalau you tak bagi kerjasama macam ni saya nak tolong you. Tu je.
Betul saja, betul. Nanti kita akan bagi sama.
Tolong Alright, so we in that case we just proceed lah sebab 7 and 8 pun tak settle lagi tadi kan. I proceed with this one
Better proceed.
Okay, ada separuh lagi. Boleh stop kejap tak tengah azan? Sekejap Okay, kejap Are you still there, people?
Yes.
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 Siapa ni Sub Saleh ni terus on mic. Bila on mic terus kena kick out. Ada ke Sub Saleh? Dah boleh masuk dah?
Boleh doktor tapi on off macam tu lah.
Asal jadi
Tadi
macam
saya
tu?
nak explain sikit.
Tak apa-apa, nanti kita share dia punya ni
Doktor ada recording kan?
Itulah.
Okey tu.
Okay tu Sekejap. The rest of the chapters. Now, so we proceed with what is actually the content of your proposal lah So kita pergi kepada chapter 1. I think benda ni berulang-ulang. Saya tak tahulah saya berulang-ulang cerita kat you ke atau you dah pernah dengar ke sebelum ni ataupun saya rasa saya dah berulang-ulang cakap sebab saya dah dekat sudah degree, sudah masters ke sudah saya risau takut saya yang rasa takut ada yang benda yang saya rasa saya dah cerita tapi tak cerita lagi yang saya rasa saya belum cerita tapi sebenarnya dah cerita. So if it's been keep repeating, I just hope you don't mind and take it as like banyak kali dengar benda tu masuk lah kan eventually. Macam Kemi dah pernah dengan saya kan masa tapi that one was proposal lah Kemi. Kemi? Tak ada dah Kemi. Orang ni. Okay. So chapter 1 is an introduction whereby you can write a you can't write a good introduction until you know what the body of the report says. Okay, tapi I would say that basically okay what is actually in the introduction is the information, okay, some background of your research work. So betul lah kalau sekarang ni you memang tak tahu lagi apa nak buat, memang susah sikit lah you nak get the idea of it. Tapi kalau you dah ada reference like 3 journal articles tu tadi, it will make it easier for you untuk apa nama ni untuk nampak benda tu untuk explain dengan lebih bagus lah dalam you punya introduction. Jadi it's good to have an articles tu lah untuk reference you. So start dengan baca in order for you to tengok dia punya problem ataupun dia punya gap untuk you explore more on that area. Okay, but at least for now, okay, you dah ada dah contoh kalau security you nak buat pasal apa? Malware, you nak buat pasal apa? You nak buat pakai pasal blockchain, you nak buat pasal Bitcoin. Okay, so you dah ada satu benda tu. So bila you Google tu, you memang Google based on you punya idea apa yang you nak buat tu. Okay, so begin with something sufficiently interesting to motivate your reader to read the rest of the report. So nak cakap something sufficiently interesting tu, perhaps you may relate dengan keadaan semasa lah. Contoh isu-isu cyber war, okay, dan sebagainya. Lepas tu, the next paragraph in the introduction should cite previous research. Yang tu pun penting. So, selalu kita cakap problem statement should be supported by a citation. Tetapi dekat introduction tu sendiri, your research background tu pun perhaps you can relate with any current issues ke yang you boleh cite. Contohnya, berita akhbar, okay, it is reported by a news by CCN, okay, 2019, saying that a huge ataupun a earthquake will be happening, alright, rather in 2023 contohnya, ataupun pemanasan global ke which can leads to stroke harbor contohnya apa-apalah. So benda tu is something yang bila orang baca betul lah, oh memanglah. So dan nampak juga yang you ada reference buat benda tu, you bukannya cakap kosong. Okay, so that cite those who had the idea or ideas first, okay, atau who have done the most recent and relevant work, and then go on to explain why more work was necessary. Okay, itu yang dekat part you lah. However, right, the recent work has not covered in terms of the usage of ataupun the issues of cyber war in among the mobile users. Contohnya lah kan, because as we know, mobile users are also exposed to internet, okay, drastically, okay, and the usage of mobile users are also increase rapidly contohnya. So you boleh ceritakan situasi tu yang sebenar, okay, it's not something that you exaggerate, okay, melebih-lebih ataupun you reka-reka, alright. And then followed by also a statement of the goal of the paper yang ada aims, research questions, objective tu, and your problem statement, kenapa nak buat benda tu, what the study targets to solve, okay, and sufficient background information to allow the reader to understand the context and significance of the questions you are trying to address, okay, and then explain juga scope dia, alright, because the scope is very important to help you emphasize ataupun cakap this is the limitation of my work, alright, it will only cover this work, okay, area ni, domain of knowledge ataupun domain of work tu untuk community ini ataupun untuk test bed sahaja ke ataupun real experimentation ataupun scope dari segi testing parameternya. Okay, the testing will only cover on the usage, on the functionality as well as on the performance. Okay, however, it is not gonna test on the acceptance contohnya. Alright, so benda-benda tu can be also spelled out in your scope. And then a verbal roadmap to what lies ahead. Okay, apa lagi? Next. Okay, your roadmap, planning you. Okay, and the contribution ataupun significance of your work tu tadi. So this will be the whole of your chapter 1. Okay, ada soalan tak on chapter 1? Clear?
Yeah, clear, Doctor.
Okay, next we proceed with literature review. So literature review, to cut it short, alright. So we have actually two parts, alright. Yang mana the first part would be the explanation of the technology consideration. Okay, because dekat this stage, okay, in the literature review, you are actually exploring, alright. You are looking into whatever possibilities of technologies, of tools, of techniques, of methods that can be used, okay, untuk solve you punya problem. So contohnya, okay, kalau you are talking about sensor ke contohnya. So bila kita cakap pasal sensor, ada banyak sensor kita, okay, kita kalau nak tracking ke, contoh kita ada QR code, kita ada barcode, kita ada image processing ataupun maybe kita nak guna apa lagi, fingerprint, biometrics, apa saja, okay. So you have to spell out all the possibilities tu, all the considerations tu, okay. Dia bukannya you memang you dah kata okay, I'm just gonna focus on biometrics sahaja, so you nak explain pasal biometrics sahaja. Tidak, because if you make those comparisons, okay, if you have these technology considerations dalam you punya literature review, dia akan membantu you if the panel might ask you, why are you not considering on this? Okay, kenapa you tak guna ni so dia dah nampak, okay, sebab during my literature I have found out that ini untuk situasi ini this is the technology that suits best contohnya. So that is where the literature helps you with, okay, untuk you identify the best, okay, for your research. Alright. Selain daripada itu, the second part of your literature review would be the related works. Ini adalah part yang selalunya kalau student degree dia buat table, title kan, project title, author siapa, lepas tu method ke teknologi apa guna, lepas tu dia punya similarities, differences, betul? So lebih kurang macam tu, okay, that would be the summarization of your project, okay, ataupun of your related works. Tetapi dekat master's level you are required to find the differences dalam banyak aspek, okay. Contohnya mungkin yang ni beza dia dari segi method use, Yang ni beza dia dari segi teknologi use. Yang ni beza dia dari segi domain use. Okay, domain apa, dekat domain mana dia implemented. Alright, so related works can be comparable, okay, to any situation. Alright, so this is very important untuk sebagai you punya ground, okay, so that bila orang tanya well, benda ni dah buat dekat sini. Kenapa you nak buat lagi? Contohnya, ataupun when we talk about attendance system, okay, there are lots of attendance system in the world kan. Guna wifi boleh, guna fingerprint ke dan sebagainya. And then you nak cakap, oh, it's because of the security. So you have make this comparison between the related works did ataupun done in the attendance system tu kan, current work tu. So you nampak, okay, there's a gap. Okay, perhaps one has done an easiest way of making attendance through dia punya access point. Okay, dia connect je dekat network tu, dia considered attend already. Okay, tetapi there's no security element. Alright, because how do you know that this phone is dedicated ataupun registered under this name? Okay, so perhaps dia boleh suruh orang lain ni kan untuk dia, boleh ke? Kan phone tu selalunya memang satu ID lah, kita punya phone untuk kita punya kan. Tapi we don't know because people are now more cerdik kan, more smart to manipulate things. Alright, so you may consider and you may do this some kind of work untuk tengok dia punya gap. Okay, untuk find dia punya kat mana loophole dia. Okay, and this can be done bila you buat starts with literature search tu dan literature review lah, yang mana you akan tengok on the articles tu. And selalunya, okay, most of the authors ataupun research paper tu yang you baca nanti, you akan nampak ada future works, okay, dekat dia punya conclusion tu. So dekat situlah dia akan tunjukkan however part dia tu, okay, part-part yang dia tak covered lagi. Alright, so same goes untuk you punya project nanti ataupun you punya research ni. Dekat conclusion tu memang selalunya you are required, okay, to put your recommendations for future work based on the limitation of your work. Okay, maksudnya you foresee that the testing should be done in real time environment ke, ataupun the testing should be done dalam domain yang lebih besar ke, users yang lebih ramai ke, okay, so on and so forth. Alright, so this I would say needs practice. Okay, sebab saya tahu throughout the journal reading ni, okay, there will be some kesesatan berlaku dan hilang pedoman. Alright, so make sure you, your supervisor or your lecturer can tarik you back lah. Okay, if they say that they think that entah ke mana-mana, entah Aiman ni pergi. Contohlah kalau ada student nama Aiman. Alright, so kita tarik dia balik. Okay, sebab bila you baca, you akan ditenggelami dengan with overwhelm of information. Alright, and sampai you dah tak tahu dah apa sebenarnya yang aku baca ni ya. Aku nak cakap apa ni sebenarnya tadi ya. Dah tak ingat dah. Alright, so always have your keyword tu tadi. So the keyword tu should be similar with what you're doing ataupun you intend to do. Contohnya cyber warfare, contohnya atau media warfare. So you pegang yang tu, you cari dalam pembacaan you tu ada ke tak benda tu. Kalau tak ada, dispute, okay, ataupun cari yang lain lah. So that is actually the how to, on how to do the literature lah. Okay, so some questions you think about as you develop your literature review. Apa yang diketahui tentang topik tersebut, ada gap ke tak, alright. Areas of further studies identified by other researchers that you may want to consider. Who are the significant research personalities? Ada consensus about the topic, aspects have generated significant debate, methods or problem identified, productive methodology, current status, what source, okay. So you may use whatever tools ataupun platform bergantung kepada you punya you punya capabilities ataupun you punya own preference. Contohnya macam saya, memang saya suka put everything in Excel lah. Sebab kat situ boleh nampak ni cerita pasal apa, ni cerita pasal apa. Sebab in literature, the most plagiarism kan kita akan jumpa juga di literature. Jadi apa yang student perlu buat adalah dia faham apa yang dia baca in order untuk dia summarize back. Okay, criticize ke, summarize ke untuk to show the different ataupun the gap tu tadi. Sebab what mistakes did was, okay, dia ambil je sebiji daripada paper tu. Sebab paper tu pun dia dah conclusion kan. Dia dah summary dah benda tu. So dia ambil sebiji, itu memang totally total plagiarism lah. Ataupun dia cuba rephrase saja. Rephrase ni pun bahaya juga sebab if you let's say ada researchers kan dah pernah dah also referring to that the same journals that you are referred to, so dia pun rephrase, so in unintentionally dia akan ada double rephrasing dan akan collide dekat situ, dia akan bertembung kat situ, so akan ada berlaku juga plagiarism. So I would recommend untuk you baca and fahamkan and explain, summarize in your own word. So that is how you may produce a good literature lah. Alright, so ada soalan tak yang ni? Faham tak?
Faham,
Bila saya cakap?
Faham Doktor.
Okay, faham.
Tapi sukar
Alright.
part ni.
Okay, so in term of content, an overview of the subject, okay, should be spelled out. And then division of work under review into categories, okay. And then explanation of how each work is similar to and how it varies, okay, apa yang sama, apa yang berbeza. And also the conclusion tu lah. So this is how you make your summarization of the content of your literature. Okay, so bila you buat review tu, you kena start dengan introduction. So dekat introduction tu sebenarnya you kena cakap topik apa sebenarnya this research ataupun this article talking about. Isu apa yang dikeluarkan, dia ketengahkan, area of concern dia apa. Okay, and then point out dia punya trend dia. Contohnya dari segi apa yang dia dah publish dalam topik tersebut. Konflik teori dia, gaps dia and also problem ataupun new perspective. Okay, yang boleh menjadi satu benda yang interesting for you to explore on. Okay, and then establish the writer's reason. Okay, ataupun you cuba faham point of view writers tersebut. So that is where the part you have to do the reviewing of the literature and then explain the criteria. Okay, and of course when necessary state why certain literature is or is not included. So kalau you nampak benda tu tak okay je, you just omit lah. Okay, memang tidak berkaitan. So ataupun maybe it's possible to include tetapi dia tidak menjadi satu citation. So it can just be your bibliografi sahaja. Okay?
Doktor,
Yep.
ada soalan sikit lah. Macam Doktor mention tadi.
Okay. Ya. Yeah. Hello? Tolong kat ni.
Ada isu dengan mic tu Doktor.
Oh, terkeluar lah tu. Tak boleh.
Type.
Ada tak Sabaria tu tadi? Hello?
Takut dia terkeluar.
Terkeluar?
Hello Doktor. Hello
Okay.
Doktor.
Okay,
macam tadi Doktor mention tadi macam memang kita akan jadi overwhelmed dengan banyak sangat information kan. Memang
betul.
kita tengok banyak sangat artikel lebih kurang 10-20 related to our topics lah. Tapi bila kita nak fokus on tu, kita Doktor kata boleh cari 2 atau 3 artikel lah. Tapi 2 atau 3 artikel tu pun kita macam nak cari satu kesimpulan tu agak payah juga. Lepas tu kita terjumpalah satu jurnal ni memang kita betul-betul interested on that. Tapi kita taklah nak copyright exactly macam tu, tapi kita memang minat satu tu je. Tapi boleh ke Doktor refer to only one specific?
Okay, yang one specific tu
tapi
selalunya yang tu selalunya kita namakan dia your apa kita panggil dia your apa paper tak, kita ada memang ada dalam research kita memang ada satu paper yang kita pegang, kita jadi dia punya core paper apa saya tak ingat nama dia, tapi sebab lepas tu you akan keluarkan konsep paper berdasarkan you punya reading terhadap this core paper tu. Boleh. Tapi sebenarnya yang tadi yang 3 tu sebab nak tengok dia punya example, title, abstract tu semua. Tapi memang bila you buat research, kalau you ada satu yang you rasa macam kena sangat, similar sangat dengan apa yang nak buat. So dia boleh jadi you punya core paper. Paper yang memang you refer lah the whole thing dalam core paper tersebut. Boleh? Sabaria?
Boleh.
Sabaria ni 798 ke 750?
750.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, thank you Dr.
Okay, sama. Next body where the review proceeds. Okay, so it has to be in chronological. Ini pun sangat penting. So always ingat bila you nak explain tentang sesuatu, literature you tu, mesti ada what, mesti ada why, mesti ada how. What, why, how. What, why, how. What, why, what. Benda tu memang kena jadi you punya rhymes. Okay. What, why, how. What, why, how. What, why, how. Benda tu. So and it has to be explained in a chronological way lah. Maksudnya kalau dia ada author tu kan selalunya dia bila dia memang into, kadang-kadang kita ada satu author tu yang macam saya ada Siddhartha dia dekat Denmark lah, dekat Amsterdam. So dia on semantic web. So saya follow dia sampai sekarang. Okay, it's been 10 years lah, more than 10 years. Sebab masa saya punya PhD dulu pun saya ingatkan saya nak jadikan dia saya punya examiner. Sebab kita boleh suggest dekat supervisor kita siapa examiner kita. Tapi tak dapat sebab dia sibuk. So memang kita macam kita panggil guru lah kita punya sifu. So selalunya bila dia buat satu research tu, dia tak akan ada satu research tu semua dia cerita dekat dalam satu paper. Dia akan pecah-pecahkan. So nanti dia punya follower tu akan follow lah. Ni adalah current trend dia, macam saya punya supervisor. He's a scientist kan. So dia pun buat juga on key identity management and dia buat juga on network. So dia boleh both lah, security pun boleh, network pun boleh. So bila kita follow dia kita boleh nampak okay, this is the current trend on key identity management yang dia tengah buat sekarang. So bila you nak refer, janganlah refer yang lama tu. Okay, refer to the latest dia punya paper tu. Jadi and kalau ada dia would be in chronological way. Okay, sources tu kena from older to the recent one. And then usually makes it difficult to show connectivity and to bring out antithesis and synthesis. Okay, thematically, okay, group research studies and other types of literature. Contohnya dari segi review, theoretical, case study. Kena ada dia punya kena thematically tu kena betul lah, right? You have to pre-identify benda tu, and then better to have a structure. Okay, maksudnya team dia macam mana you nak form you punya literature tersebut, and then we still chronological element to this lah. Okay, so literature ni should be a systematic review. Okay, I think kadang-kadang kita ada template lah ataupun structure way on how to conduct a literature. So nanti kita tengok kalau ada kita can do this exercise jugalah, okay, untuk you come up with a good literature. Alright, so ada soalan tak? Ni conclusion dia lah. Major contribution dia apa, current state of the art dia apa, and then conclude by provide some insights and then future questions to be answered. Alright, ada soalan tak on the literature? Sorry you all dengar bising ke saya punya rumah sekarang ni? Sebab saya tak pakai speaker kan, saya tak pakai headphone, mikrofon. Bising ke?
Tak, okey.
Tak. Okay.
Sebab kalau last sem student pukul 1 dia orang tahulah, dia orang dengar bunyi ada air mandi. Okay. So can I still proceed? Are you still with me?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Last but not least, okay. Research methodology. Your chapter 3. The detailed description of your research design, please keep quiet. Hello. Okay, should include information to allow the reader to assess the believability of your result, information needed by another researcher to replicate your experiment. So because when you have a good methodology, uh, saya believe lah, okay, macam if you are a lecturer pun kan, saya dah go through my PhD process contohnya kan. So let's say my PhD is like 2007, 2004, 3 tahun setengah tu kan. If I have it in 3 tahun setengah period, so you all should have it in 3 years, okay? Because that is where you have your mentor, okay? So I will act like your mentor. To provide you or to show you the correct way of doing things. Okay, tapi ada setengah orang, diorang kata dulu jangan buat PhD dekat Jerman. Okay, sebab kat Jerman selalunya dia punya lecturer, supervisor dia punya tu mesti 6 tahun, 7 tahun. Jangan buat dekat Malaysia. Malaysia pun 10 tahun baru dapat PhD. Which is wrong. Okay, itu adalah satu it's not a good claim lah sebab bagi saya bila you dah go through that process, you nak you punya anak buah your mentee ke your protege tu to go it in an easiest way lah. Kalau orang biasa join yang Azizan Osman orang kata kan, tapi saya tak tahu lah, orang kata dia jual Elio. Saya pernah lah juga yang siapa kata yes angkat tangan apa benda tah macam mana tah. So maybe dia ada ups and downs of doing things, alright, and then dia katalah dia punya jatuh bangun tu 10 tahun. So dia tak nak lah dia punya protege tu to be experiencing the same 10 years jatuh bangun tu. So dia cut it off, alright. So if let's say he succeed in 10 years, alright, perhaps the mentee or the protege should succeed in 5 years, alright. So same goes with me, okay. If same goes of for this research methodology pun, alright. So if you have this a good example of how to conduct the research, okay, through the successfulness of executing your result tu, okay, melalui metodologi yang you pakai. So researcher lain bila dia baca paper you, dia boleh guna balik, okay, replicate your experiment tu. Alright, so that is where kalau you tengok dalam paper kena ada author's name, kena ada dia punya affiliation, okay, alamat dia ataupun sekurang-kurangnya dia punya email address. Because it is very important, okay, among the researchers to share, okay, their knowledge ke, their expertise tu. Jadi easier to be contacted. Sebab dekat dalam paper, kita tak akan masukkan semua. Okay, it's really different with your journal ataupun your dissertation. So kalau nak contact lebih, kadang-kadang kan because your thesis tak akan available online macam open access semua orang boleh dapat. Tetapi kalau articles ataupun journals, yes. Jadi kalau you nak, contohnya kadang-kadang ada researcher yang dia ada coding. So coding dia tu sikit-sikit je ataupun dia tunjuk algoritma dia je. Jadi macam mana you nak embed dalam you punya simulation contohnya. So you might ask, you have to contact the researcher untuk dapatkan detail lagi lah. Ataupun same goes untuk case-case data kan. Sebab saya tahu kalau yang projek-projek yang berkaitan dengan security tu, I was informed that most of the time you have to use whatever data from the internet lah, and then you might have problem on data quality, things like that. So in order for you to get easier way untuk dapatkan data yang dengan cara yang lebih mudah contohnya so selalunya researcher ni will be more than happy to help you. Okay, so once you contact dia akan respond. Tak kisahlah researcher tu dekat Arab ke, dekat Brunei ke, Asia ataupun Jepun ke Tokyo ke, dekat Indon ke ataupun dekat overseas lah, Europe dan sebagainya. Okay, there will be no boundaries. Okay, semua orang nak share dia punya best practice tu. Okay, so that you guys akan buat it in shortest way lah ataupun easier way. So same goes untuk calculation, techniques, procedures, instruments apa you pakai. And also on the limitation, assumptions, okay, validity dia, and description of your analytical method. Okay. So kalau software apa you pakai, semua-semua tu mesti ada dekat dalam you punya paper. So sama juga apa nama ni, thesis dan juga you punya articles kan ataupun journal kalau you buat nanti, dia mesti jujukan dia mesti sama. Ada introduction, ada abstract, ada keyword, ada introduction, ada related works ataupun method motivation. Lepas tu ada implementation ke, okay, and then result and analysis, and then discussion and conclusion. So mana-mana you baca pun selalunya macam tu lah content dalam satu-satu paper tersebut. Alright, so research design is also talking about the dalam methodology you tu, yang mana you akan cerita tentang how state the name that the design is used lah. Okay, you guna design research process contohnya. Okay, lepas tu you guna kaedah apa, method apa, case study ke, survey ke, interview ke, quasi eksperimen ke, and then the design structure tu macam mana, and then apa dia punya construct ataupun variables dia, IV dia apa, DV dia apa, and then macam mana dia been measured, okay, pakai test ke, pakai interview questionnaires dan sebagainya. Lepas tu include a discussion of internal validity that describes the major likely threats in your study and how the design account for them. So benda-benda ni semua kena ada dalam you punya methodology. Okay, sample, kali pakai sample, okay, describe sampling procedure specification. Contohnya guna unit apa, okay, subject, record, sampling method apa you pakai, population apa, sampling frame dia, okay, setakat mana, and then description about the sample, and also dia punya external validity consideration. Nah, kita dah belajar tentang independent variable dengan dependent variable. Sekarang ni ada dua word baru kita belajar, internal validity dengan external validity. Okay, siapa boleh bezakan? Apa beza dia, external dengan internal validity? Anyone? Kenapa saya nampak ada orang keluar masuk ni ya? Lain tak okey Anyone wants to share? Boleh bagi contoh external validity apa? Internal validity apa? Ada? Tak ada?
Doctor, can I try? Okay, internal validity is like a cause and effect term lah. Macam dia nak what is the cause of the cyber security attack, what's the effect of it.
Okay. Untuk contoh cyber security lah. So dia punya
Okay, what the cause and effect lah. I use the term dia, internal validity.
Okay. So external?
External is more to the outcome lah of the outcome of the study. More to the outcome, macam what is the outcome of the result lah. What is the result?
Implication.
Implications. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Okay, so internal tu dia internal validity tu faktor-faktor dalaman lah. Contohnya
Faktor, reasons.
Factor, reasons yang implicate kan. Tetapi external validity is dia punya impact dia lah. Alright, so outcome tu betul lah. Maksudnya bila dah masuk internal validity ni, lepas tu dapat result tu, the outcome dia tu would be your external validity. Okay, so those should also be considered juga, okay, bila you masukkan dalam you punya methodology. Alright, good, thank you. Irsyad, procedures. Okay, so procedures ni dia kena ada, bila you cakap pasal procedures, it's something 1, 2, 3 lah, something in sequence. Okay, so ties together the sampling, measurement and research design. So procedure should be in order, okay, in sequence. and it should describe the overall plan of the research lah. Maksudnya daripada input datanya apa, parameter nak pakai apa, proses yang terlibat apa, guna tool apa, method apa, teknik apa, dibuat di mana, experimentationnya bagaimana. Okay, that is in your whole process part, and then output dia. Okay, so overall plan ni kena ada di dalam you punya procedures tu, and it should be in sequence and plus the variables. Okay. Okay, I think chapter 4 result dengan discussion ni sikit-sikit je lah saya cerita sebab ini sepatutnya tak masuk lagi lah sebab ini dalam you punya project nanti. Results, actual statement of observation you, kalau ada negative result pun kena cakap juga. Okay, never ever manipulate your results or try to change your data. Okay, tapi bila you cakap pasal result, you kena cakap je. You kena present the result. Okay, do not interpret the result. Okay, some students, saya dapat ni kerana apa? Dia dah explain dah dekat you punya result. Sebab dekat result ni cerita result je. Belum cerita discussion. So kalau you masuk chapter 5 nanti ada analysis and discussion ke contohnya. So then that one you can explain. Menunjukkan peningkatan. Tapi itu pun you bukan explain satu-satu you punya result tau. You just summarize, you have your summary of your result tu. Contohnya from the testing between peak hours dengan non-peak hours, weekdays dengan weekends kan. The network traffic congest ke tak congest ke kan, situasi berbeza kan, jadi probably the data ataupun the result will be different lah kan. Jadi the discussion about the implication tu, kenapa dia jadi begitu, should be explained in your discussion. Dia bukan dalam result. Result tu dia indicate yang you nampak tu sahaja. Okay, apa result you. Alright, but the analysis tu would be done ataupun the interpretation of your result tu would be done in the discussion part. Okay, and present sufficient details, okay, so that others can draw their own inference and construct their own explanation. And key result should be stated in clear sentence. Contohnya, it is far better to say X had significant positive relationship with Y through the linear regression apa tu apalah. So there is a significant relationship. So terus cakap, then there is a significant relationship between X and Y. Lepas tu describe the nature of findings. Do not just tell the reader whether or not they are significant. Okay, and don't worry if result seems short. Okay, sebab result is result, okay, as it is. Okay, and this is where you have your discussion part. Critical discussion of the result and how does it fit to the problem you are addressing. Okay, tengok sama ada dia match balik ke tak dengan objektif yang you identify earlier tu in chapter 1. And then start with a few statements that summarize the most important result. Macam kita dulu masa kita belajar kan, kita ada belajar buat matematik contohnya. So apa kita belajar? Ada mode, median dengan mean kan, average. Median tengah-tengah, mode kekerapan, mean adalah average kan. So kita explain yang berkaitan sahaja. And this chapter should be rich in reference to similar work and background needed to interpret the results. So normally dekat results ni dia akan tunjukkan yang dia justify and it is similar to the theoretical punya consideration ataupun theoretical punya concept of your research tu. Okay, bila kita kata secara teorinya, alright, when there are lots more people ataupun users, internet users, it will congest the network. Okay, the network traffic will be congested. So in your experiment pun it indicated so. So betul lah, maksudnya secara teori dan secara praktikal pun it has proven that it is right. Okay. Yeah, the discussion section should be a brief essay. Apa major patterns in the observation, agreement of the previous work, okay. Ada tak yang bercanggah dengan apa yang you baca sebelum ini, and then interpret the results in terms of the punya background, okay. Implication of the present result, what are the things we know or understand, and include the evidence as well as the significance. So then kita ada conclusion, strongest and most important statement, and what do you want the reader to remember, new literature lah. So recommendation, So recommendation tu macam yang saya sebutkan tadi, it is based on the limitation of your work. Alright, so let's say during the experiment ataupun during your research conduct tu, you foresee that perhaps it can be extend to another domain ke contohnya. So you might recommend it dekat sini. Okay, so further research to fill in gaps in our understanding and directions for future investigation pun can be done. Alright, so inilah yang kat bila you baca ataupun you buat journal articles pun kita boleh nampak ada recommendations kat sini, and these are the gaps, okay, that we say other researchers may proceed to. Okay, mungkin your recommendations tu it is not necessarily to be carried out by yourself. Okay, itu adalah recommendations yang is mentioned secara general and it can be conduct by others lah, carried out by other researcher if they want. Alright, so it's a free way of that's why I say it's an academic writing ni, dia tak ada I own this, okay, akulah apa yang buat cyber security ni, orang lain tak buat, tak boleh. Okay, it's more on the sharing, okay, punya culture and kita, that's why kita ada je kita nak publish, kita ada je kita nak publish, kita nak people know that hey, this is what I'm doing in security work right now. Okay, hey, this is what I have excuse me, sorry, dah tak boleh tahan dah ni. This is what I've been discovered, okay, in security field right now. Okay, so excuse me, so apa juga benda yang kita jumpa, kita dapat, kita discover, alright, it should be shared with others, and other people ataupun researcher pun may do atau continue with your work. Okay, you be very more than happy. Sebab apa? Sebab nanti dia akan cite you punya kerja pula. So you be cited and you be referred. Jadi you punya indexing pun akan naik. Itulah kalau akademik ada siapa-siapa lecturer tak kat sini? Ada tak? Lecturer lecturer you lain ke, college ke? Ada? Tak ada? Tak ada?
Nope, tak ada.
Kalau lecturer kita ada Google Scholar kan. So that Google Scholar is actually kita punya score lah, right? To show how many times our publications, okay, our research has been cited by others. Sebab ini ethical way of doing things. Whatever you do, you tak boleh copy macam tu je. You kena cite the source. So benda-benda ni semua sangat membantu lah. Alright, so there's no such thing as own your own work tu, tak ada. Okay, this is something to be shared with. Okay, alright, so ni references. Okay, kita ada two parts. When you cite the literature, when you are discussing it, when you list the complete literature in the reference bibliography section in the back of the report. So references adalah list of previous literature you have cited, while bibliography is list of previous literature you have read. Okay, so you just read, okay, you don't cite, right? So the one that you just read is included in your bibliography. Okay, so we are going to use APA 5th edition and it's in alphabetical order. Okay, and these are the format. Okay, untuk online documents lain, journal articles bagaimana. Okay, dan sebagainya. Alright, so I think appendix, okay, appendix is any additional documents. Contohnya kalau dia melibatkan configuration ataupun programming, coding you, okay, you don't have to put everything in the main document. Alright, so might as well you just letak dekat dalam appendix you sahaja. And then dia akan menjadi satu attachment lah orang panggil, okay. Dan dia will be at the back of your whole thesis. Ni proofread yang saya sebutkan tadi. Text of spelling mistakes, grammatical error. Okay, supervisor, thesis coordinator cannot proofread thesis dissertation. It should be done by others. Okay, you tak boleh cakap dengan supervisor you. Contoh Madam Kushaini, boleh tak jadi proofread my thesis? No, because your supervisor is normally baca, okay, to agree upon on what you're doing. Alright, tapi saya pun selalu juga bila saya dah dapat student saya punya ni, saya akan tend to macam proofread jugalah, macam betulkan balik semua. Tapi level-level ni okey juga kot. And then professional proofread will always highlight errors but we leave the final decision about changing the text. Okay, dia tak akan ubah. Alright, macam supervisor dia boleh ubah. Dia selalu cakap lah this better to be replaced by this. Dia ada comment tu kan. And it may involve payment and at your own risk and expense. Lah RM7 kan. Sekarang tata RM10. Okay, plagiarism. So kalau you memang plagiat daripada dictionary, terang-terang wrongful appropriation, close imitation and stealing and publication. So of another author's language, thoughts, ideas or expression. Ni semualah definisi plagiarism. So it is totally a wrong thing to do. And within academia, plagiarism by students, professors or researchers is considered academic dishonesty or academic fraud. Okay, so it is not acceptable at all. So that's why we emphasize here, it is less than 30% singularity index. So if it is more than 30, we consider it as totally a plagiarism already. Okay, so in order to do the plagiarism checking, avoid plagiarism by checking for originality, and that is why we use Turnitin. Yang ni lama punya ni saya buat. So nanti kita akan ada yang baru punya. So never mind. This one for as long as I have your email address, I can register for you and you will do the rest of it later. Okay, so I think penggunaan Turnitin will be like week 10 macam tu lah after you have finish up your draft. Alright, so for now tak ada lagi lah. Okay, nanti saya akan createkan your account. Ke you all ada yang dah ada Turnitin?
Belum.
Tak ada, tak ada.
Tak ada.
Kenal lah, tak borak lagi lah pasal benda tu.
Apa? Kenal? Kenal dengan siapa?
Supervisor.
Oh,
Macam nak apa tu?
Turnitin.
Turnitin.
Software Lip.
Bukan pasal
Oh
supervisor.
ya, Turnitin. Tak bukan. Maksudnya macam kalau ada yang Turnitin kan selalu kita upload. Ni kalau macam lecturer, kita boleh borak dengan dia terus pasal benda tu. So bila upload tu dapat persen yang rendah lah.
Borak?
Sebelum kita submit dalam Turnitin tu.
Oh, maksudnya dia checkkan untuk you?
Yes. Sorry.
Boleh lah. Tapi selalunya yang submit tu kena student sendirilah yang submit. Kan? Okay. Alright, so criteria of good research supervisor, banyaklah kriteria dia as a rule of thumb. Okay, dia ada banyak published research articles in the related field. Sebab tu saya cakap I have to claim, okay, my disclaimer is that I'm not a security. Adalah 2-3 research on security. So kalau you tengok kat Google Scholar pun saya I'm really not into security lah. Network, yes. Okay, I can have I can see that. And then competent and knowledgeable, good command of research method. Maksudnya dia tahu how the research is conducted. And it's very good kalau dia ada funding. So will be advantage sebab kadang-kadang some research may incur cost kan. Contohnya macam nak proofread ke, nak beli software ke, license ke. So kalau benda tu dia ada funding, tak ada masalah untuk dia fund lah bagi dekat dia punya researcher. And then role model of an ethical, informed, creative and curious approach to research coupled with academic and research rigor with an enthusiasm for the subject under research. Alright, so I think I would have to add like tidak membiarkan blue tick kan, always friendly lah, okay, untuk bantu you, especially dalam keadaan kita yang tak bersemuka ni kan. So if let's say you are needed, the supervisors are needed, they can freely come and see you. Saya pernah lah ada degree student lah. Saya dia examiner sebenarnya. Lepas tu dia kata, madam minta maaf lah tapi saya punya supervisor dia blue tick je saya. Dia kenapa pula dia nak cerita dengan saya kan. Tapi madam jangan cakap dengan so saya macam takkanlah saya nak cakap kan. Tapi saya pun markah saya sikit je kan. Even macam you all tengok kan. Markah supervisor dengan examiner. Markah supervisor lagi banyak. So I always said that as a student you kena ada good relationship dengan you punya supervisor. Okay. So the relationship plays a vital role in the process of research supervision. Right match and maintaining an effective working relationship holds the key to success of research projects and thesis. Macam saya punya supervisor masa saya PhD tu, he is far away from me like 8 hours naik kenderaan darat. So he's in Oslo and I'm in Trondheim. Sampai saya kata, baik saya duduk Malaysia je kan, saya tak payah datang negara Norway tu kan. Bukan je supervisor, saya jumpa supervisor ke. Tapi the environment is there dan dia selalu cakap dengan saya, I'm not going to closely monitor you, alright. In fact, dia bagi saya 2 lagi student master untuk bantu saya dalam saya punya research. So saya jadi supervisor untuk student master tu. So saya rasa macam wow, he really trust me. So bila saya viva tu kan, sebab dia cuma tahu saya ada anak 3 orang. Tapi masa saya viva tu saya dah ada anak 4 orang. Okay, saya terlambat sikit viva sebab saya bersalin. So saya tak boleh nak naik flight lah kan. Saya kena tunggu anak saya dah besar sikit baru saya boleh datang untuk viva. So apa nama ni, bila hari saya defend tu, dia just tengok je lah seperti biasa. Lepas tu he's a Vietnamese tau. Dia refugees yang survive masa World War II. So dia naik kapal and then he became a very successful Asian, okay, di negara orang kan. Dia jadi professor dan juga a scientist, but he's a very hardworking punya orang lah. So masa dah habis tu semua, itu pun masa sebab kita disambut dan lepas tu malam tu kita ada dinner kan. Tapi semua saya was not around. Sebab dia cakap cuma bila dia nak keluar tu sebab dia ada hal lain kan, sebab dia far away from me. So kita memang very casually meeting lah. And then what he said was, at the first time I saw you, I just thought that you're not going to finish it. Oh my god, how come dia boleh cakap dengan saya macam tu? Saya macam nasib baik dia cakap bila saya dah habis, saya dah dapat my PhD. Tapi itulah sebab kita orang tak ada rope. Kita orang tak ada convo macam tu. Kita orang punya convo cuma dapat cincin je. Itu pun saya tak pergi juga. Sebab dia punya proses kan lama kan, dan it is very costly lah. Tapi well, that experience is very value lah sebenarnya saya rasa. So ada orang susah kita ada supervisor, ada orang dia punya supervisor memang sangat, saya lah kalau saya rasa saya jenis supervisor yang very rigid kot, and I closely monitor my students, okay. Tapi sejenis yang macam mana, kecil tapak tangan, padang bola kita tadahkan. So student datang kat saya 1 langkah 10 langkah saya pergi kat dia. That's how it should work lah, okay. So in other words, kita nak cakap yang kita are willingly to help the students, provided that the student has the effort jugalah sebenarnya. So don't worry to approach your supervisor. I believe kita ada list of supervisors, potential supervisors yang sangat committed dan sebenarnya memang kita nak help our student lah. Alright, so don't worry about that. Dan maybe lepas ni bila kita dapat involvement daripada industries pun, that would be good exposure untuk you all jugalah. Okay, affected by many issues that could be complicated, tak payahlah. Ada student yang dia ada 2 tadi saya nampak ada yang ambil Puan Noh dan Dr. Yusof contoh. So boleh, alright. Somehow both of them are ni spouse kan, husband and wife. Tapi takutlah kok ada konflik ke kan. So a supervisor may have say 10 students all with different personalities, different projects and often from different backgrounds. So normally for my case, saya longgokkan, okay, satu FYP tu regardless dia daripada network ke daripada net centric contohnya, saya akan ada satu meeting session yang sama. Proposal pun satu meeting yang sama. So terpulang, alright. So every lecturers have their own way of supervising lah. Okay, and then common practice that may help promote the health of that relationship should enter the relationship with his or her eyes open. Okay, remember always leave ataupun make sure your glass is empty. Okay, sebab saya belajar ni juga, I've heard it somewhere and then baru ni saya tengok cerita 2012 tu kan, yang pasal kiamat lah konon-kononnya tu kan. Lepas tu ada this Chinese ni, dia kata they keep on pour the drink tu kan, and then dia punya cucu cakap enough kan, why do you still pour it, it's already overwhelmed kan. So dia kata you can see this, alright, if you still keep on pouring and then while the cup is full, okay, you're not going to catch anything. Okay, benda tu habis macam tu je. Alright, so always keep your glass empty so that you can absorb lah, alright, ataupun accepting whatever apa nama ni opinion ataupun discussion tu akan berlaku dengan lebih lancar lah. Sebab kalau you start apa ni your glass tu dah penuh, you akan biarkan ataupun apa macam start to block lah. Okay, so it's not a good way. Alright, so sama juga bila you discuss pasal apa-apa pun dengan orang, make sure you berlapang dada so if there's any differences between you and the other person, you raikan, alright, celebrate the difference. Okay, that is how you want to put harmony in the discussion sebenarnya. Okay, sebab kalau kita rasa, kalau kita terus rasa kita bagus, kita tak akan accept apa-apa pun. So same goes dengan lecturer lah. Tapi lecturer jangan terperanjat, don't be surprised that they have their own ego lah. Okay, so tak kisah, whatever it is, they are still your supervisor kan. So just accept it. Okay, so and then you have to have the progress report and should be realistic. Progress report ni I would say it's like a logbook. Setiap kali you jumpa and then you jot down what are the discussions about, and then you plan for the next meeting and what you're going to do for the next meeting. Okay, discussion or plan about the next meeting. So benda-benda tu perlu. Alright, that is actually how you know that you are progressing. Okay, dia nampak. Then as for myself lah, saya ada my stacks and bunch of information yang during my PhD degree tu, my journey tu, yang sampai sekarang saya, bila saya tengok benda tu, that is macam itulah caranya. Yang alhamdulillah make it saya boleh lah. Kalau sebab if you do it in a very unorganized way, okay, saya takut akan ada problem-problem lain lah selepas ni. Okay, advisor responsibilities adalah ni, clarify develop, okay. Dah pukul 2 advisory responsibilities you all pula. Okay, time management. Ni nanti you all tengok ni kat mana you berada. Shito Goraku, those who sleep 4 hours a day will pass, those who sleep 5 hours. Okay. Siapa percaya yang ni? Okay, siapa sleep more than 4 hours? Mengaku. Okay lah, saya lah. Saya 4 to 6.
Saya.
Saya juga.
Siapa yang tidur like 8 hours, like 10 hours?
Uish.
Saya juga.
Saya.
susah nak tidur macam mana tu.
Saya rasa in our age macam lah bayi saya sama dengan bayi. We have to we have to start kurangkan tidur lah. Tapi saya memang suka tidur. Saya suka tidur. Sebab bagi saya tidur is tapi I can just like have 10 to 15 minutes nap macam tu je. Lepas tu dia segar balik. Tapi tak payah nak prolong punya sleep ni, bahaya kan. So start to change your life. Okay, katalah kalau you are not good in time management, improve it. You are not good in organizing, try to improve it. Okay, so because this will eventually what do you call that, make you discipline lah sebenarnya. Sebab saya tengok journey kawan-kawan saya yang berjaya dengan PhD, bukan nak cakap sebab saya dah PhD tau, sebab this is how people work. Okay, ada yang santai-santai je buat kerja dekat Starbucks macam tu kan, McD, tapi tak ke mana lah, tak habis. Sebab macam saya I have to lock my door. There's times that you really have to have your own time. Okay, so you know yourself better lah. You tak payah tengok orang ni cara dia macam ni, orang ni cara dia macam ni. Tapi put disiplin tu. Okay, dekat situ. Alright, prioritize available free time for research. fronting, rushing at the last minute. Jangan buat benda last minute. How to allocate time, priority, important, pending. Okay. And then yeah, all the best. Okay. These are some reference. Saya akan share ni juga dengan you nanti. You ada kelas yang pukul 2?
Tak ada.
Tak ada, tak ada.
Tak ada, doktor.
Tak ada doktor.
Ada kerja
Oh, so
pukul 2.
okay. So kita ambil masa terlebih sikit sebab tadi pun kita start pukul 11 suku kan. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan tak?
Tak ada doktor.
Okay, kalau tak ada,
So
this is
far
what
tak ada.
Alright. So I just hope that everybody has already signed their attendance. Okay, we'll move to Google Classroom and whatever that related documents will be shared there, as well as the invitation for the next classes juga. Kita akan buat through the Google Meet, and then the recorded version of this video today, as well as the video, the slides. And I'm done my part. I really hope that you also did your part. Okay, maksudnya exercises yang saya minta, the Excel dah ada hutang ni, plus the yang tadi tu, yang titles dengan abstract tu. Okay, so try to find 3 articles. Okay, in order for us to discuss on whether it's a good title and abstract or not. And the third one would be your own. Alright. Ada apa-apa soalan? Am I clear about this? Are you clear about this?
Very clear. Very clear.
Very clear.
Tak buat.
Very clear, doktor. Tapi tas bersusun sekarang ni. Berderet-deret.
Baru week 2 dah dapat pressure
Oi, banyak.
The real work begins.
Tapi kami anggap sebagai dugaan.
Ya
Ha?
tu.
Macam mana?
Anggap sebagai Asanggaraf student.
Kan, saya boleh buat part time, relax je. Habis kerja pukul 5, pergi UPM pukul 6.30 sampai pukul 9, 3 jam. Lepas tu malam baru balik rumah. Saya boleh kahwin lagi. Saya mengandung lagi. Saya boleh beranak lagi.
Doktor memang idola saya. Doktor idola saya.
Ada.
3 sen je tau.
Banyak tu.
Kena menuntut doktor.
Disiplin. That's the only word I can say. Disiplin. Tu je. Walaupun ada banyak handbag, walaupun entah mana-mana letak, itu faktor usia lah. Okay, can I have the ni buka komputer ni, buka you all buka ke ni sebab saya tak nampak lah. Saya nampak diri saya je. You all buka tak kamera?
Saya kamera tak barai
Barai So tak nak tunjuk?
Tak ada ni. Kamera saya tape.
Kamera tak cantik? Alah.
Dia
Bukan tak cantik.
Dia selotip.
Kamera selotip. Oh.
Hackers kan? Hackers.
Ni. Sebab macam last week, itulah kalau Gmeet sebab kalau ada gambar tu saya boleh tengok korang ni hadir ke tak. Macam last week kan, saya baru tahu ada saya kenal Camelia ni nama. Tapi saya tak tahu Cami ni is actually my ex-student. So bila saya dapat gambar tu kan, lepas tu familiar ni. Oh, this is my ex-student. Baru saya tahu. Otherwise I will not know who is Izzat, who is Irsyad, who is Alif, Azrina, Farhan. Okay, Mahfuz dah tahu dah, kita dah friend Mahfuz dekat Facebook.
Oh ya ke? Thank you. Sorry doktor. 2 weeks ni saya busy di outstation. Okay.
Okay je. Saya okay je lah. Korang tak payahlah nak formal sangat dengan saya. Okay.
Doktor boleh drop link in. Saya FB tak ada, saya ada link in ada.
Link in tapi saya tak aktif.
Alah.
Ada. Saya ada di link in. Link in tu my previous punya macam employer kan. Adalah saya kat situ. Boleh. Cepatlah. You all dah buka ke kamera ni? Siapa yang dah buka? Oh dah.
Boleh.
3 orang je lagi.
Okay, then siapa tadi yang last week capture? Mahfuz Mahfuz?
Ya doktor, sebenarnya macam nak capture melalui sini? Ada screenshot? Oh, print screen. Tapi last week tak semua kot dan saya capture. Tapi harap masuk semua sekali kot. Tapi ada 3 lagi tak masuk. Kak Sabah, Amira Ghazali, Alif tak ada. Alif ni, Saiful, Fatimah Syairah.
Ni ada 19 kan?
Sekejap
Termasuk saya.
saya tengok grid
Kalau 19, I think it's all of us.
Saya terlebih tu sebenarnya sebab saya log in out sekejap
Saya tak ada kamera.
Nak lagi satu lah.
Mana live?
Alah tak apa. Ada pun tak apa. Kat Sabah tu
Kalau ada dah masuk lah. Laptop yang kamera elok dah tak ada lah.
Okay, boleh kumpul duit untuk Alip.
Sabaria umur berapa Sabaria? Pagi kat Sabah.
Tak dengar.
Saya tengok pada mimik mulut dia 40.
40? Serius?
Oh serius?
Saya muda 2 tahun daripada kat Sabah.
40 Sabaria?
Ya, 40.
14 cik. 40 you kerja kat mana? You kerja?
Saya kerja sekarang full time. Sebab saya full time kerjakan kat lembaga hasil.
So you cuti belajar?
Cuti belajar.
Lembaga hasil Sabaria?
Di Bangi.
Oh, I think I got my friend over there juga. Ruzina Ibrahim. Dia. Okay, dah. Bagilah tahu nak snap. Dah ke belum?
Okay, dah ready belum?
Dah.
Siapa snap?
Saya dah lama berdiri ni.
Ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Senyum.
Okay. Alip tak ada? Alip ada? Ada. Okay.
Ada.
Alright.
Nanti
So
saya hantar.
next week, I really hope that I can have more commitment, more feedback, more active participation from you all. And so sorry about all the glitches we experienced just now. Things happen. Sorry minta maaf. Yeah. So kita jumpa minggu depan. Kalau ada apa-apa, message je WhatsApp. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Mazda.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Doktor, ya.
Bye.